Solutions. We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at tra.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
There's been a toxic gas leak in Oklahoma.
Dozens of people became sickened Wednesday night in Weatherford, Oklahoma, when a tanker truck parked in a hotel parking lot began leaking anhydrous ammonia gas. Anhydrous ammonia is used as fertilizer, but can burn people in its liquid or gaseous form. People nearby were evacuated, others were told to shelter in place, and several dozen people were taken to the hospital for difficulty breathing. Weatherford Police Chief Angelo Orfici says the gas has dissipated, enough for people to return home. I'm Donna Warder.
Charlotte, North Carolina is the latest U.S. city preparing for a potential immigration crackdown by the Trump administration. The Mecklenburg County Sheriff says federal officials plan to deploy U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents as early as this weekend. Details of the operation, however, remain undisclosed at the moment. News and analysis at townhall.com. A strike against Boeing is coming to an end.
The Boeing machinist in the Midwest who assembled military aircraft and weapons voted to approve a new contract. The breakthrough 5-year labor agreement includes a 24% wage hike across the life of the contract and a $6,000 signing bonus, according to the union representing 3,200 workers who walked off the job on August 4th.
That report from Bill Alexander. The nation's largest retailer will soon have a new boss. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon will retire at the end of January. He's been at the company's helm since 2014. John Ferner, the head of U.S. operations, will succeed McMillon as CEO. Americans will be allowed to contribute more money to 401k and other retirement saving plans beginning next year. The IRS says the maximum contribution will rise to $24,500. More on these stories at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. It is Friday in studio. The one, the only, E.J. Haas, official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Good morning.
Good morning and happy Friday.
It's Friday, November 14th. It's Hot Mess Friday today. We've declared it. Hot Mess Friday.
I walked into the studio this morning and realized I forgot my wedding ring.
And your coffee.
And my coffee.
Yeah.
What a hot mess.
Hot Mess Friday.
Yeah.
It is also a personal note. It is the birthday of a good friend of ours who passed away a couple years ago, a World War II veteran. Glenn Woodmansey, who was a navigator during World War II from my hometown of Randolph, New York. I think he would have been like 99 today. He passed away a couple. Great man. And so happy birthday to the late Glenn Woodmansey and his family in Lawrence, Kansas. Also, it is my kid brother's birthday and my cousin's birthday.
Big day.
Rich Leahy in Fresno, California. Happy birthday. And
happy birthday.
Patty Harnett Flowers in Milwaukee, my cousin.
Okay.
We were password champions in high school.
Get out of town.
Family password champions.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
There was no national password competition.
There wasn't.
Got it.
So it's time for the morning rundown, which is brought to you every day at this time by our friends at the Glock Store. A Glock Store located just a few miles from the airport, right here in Nashville, Tennessee. So here we go. Here is the morning rundown for Friday, November 14th, 2025. Number one is adolescent socialism on the rise among adults. Heather McDonald says yes. She's with the Manhattan Institute. We're going to play her clip and get some feedback from AOC and Caroline Levitt about that. Number two, a socialist mayor was elected in Seattle. Yikes. So now we have a socialist mayor in New York City, in Seattle, and a couple of nutcases
St. Paul,
in Chicago.
St.
Paul.
Yeah, we
got
got
an
everywhere.
illegal alien, alleged, who says now not in St. Paul. And then Chicago and and Los Angeles.
Hey, listen, I think they're just outwardly saying it. I think
Yeah.
most of our Democrat mayors,
With one exception, Paul Young, mayor of Memphis.
so far,
Tip of the hat.
haven't heard much news in that regard lately.
Number 3, you're going to love this, pronoun training in Hennepin
Oh, for
County,
goodness
Minnesota.
sakes.
Yeah, because if you're employed there, you have to know how to use your pronouns properly. We're going to play that in the next clip.
That'll go over great.
Yeah.
Because, one thing law enforcement loves is training of pronouns.
Absolutely. Number 4, H-1B visa trouble for our country and for the MAGA movement. Number 5, J.D. Vance talked about illegal immigration and housing. He could also talk about the rise of tuberculosis in the country. Number 6, Eric Swalwell under investigation for mortgage fraud. I'm shocked by that. Number 7, vindictive prosecution of a well-respected attorney involved in the alternate elector case in 2020 by the Wisconsin Attorney General. Guess what party this...
Oh, gee, I wonder.
Yeah, these attorney generals in the states that are Democrats are out of control. Number 8, Roger Simon will be with us in hour 2. Number 9, in the House, Speaker of the House of Representatives in the state of Tennessee, Cam Sexton, will be here in the House. He was back here, I think, in March or so.
Okay.
We'll hear about the 2026 agenda for the Tennessee General Assembly. So there you go, EJ. That is the morning rundown for Friday, November 14th, 2025, brought to you by our friends at the Glock Store. I always like to talk about Lenny McGill, a classic American entrepreneur, and former singing waiter with a great voice and great presence.
We forget to mention that sometimes. He's a really funny guy. What a great personality.
Energy. What I want to do is I want to put Lenny McGill and Donald Trump in the same room and see if the kinetic energy will allow that to happen, because there might be a spontaneous explosion of energy if the two are in the same room. The Glock Store has been a sponsor of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show for years now. I've been lucky enough to go to every one of the incredible yearly Glock Store open houses. Well, this year, Glock Store set their sights on Black Friday. It's an event you're going to want to try and attend from wherever you are. The details are just now coming together, but, EJ, if I had to guess, I'm thinking huge discounts on everything, including Glocks, tons of giveaways,
And
great
accessories,
foods.
I hope. Those
Yes,
make good
yes.
stocking stuffers.
Tons of giveaways, right? The Glock Store does giveaways. Now, of course, all the great Black Friday deals will also be available online, but that's the real deal. Black Friday celebration from Lenny McGill and the one and only Glock Store, minutes from the Nashville airport and worth a drive from anywhere, especially on Black Friday. So there you go. Okay, so let's talk about the rising adolescent socialism.
Yeah.
And Heather McDonald, a great thinker with the Manhattan Institute, had a few words to say about that. And let's play this clip right now, clip 1.
Well, first of all, he does. We are about to be governed by the Columbia University student body, a group of people. He embodies the undergraduate mindset. It's entitled, ignorant, performative, and parasitic.
Oh, good. Stop.
complete-
I love that. Entitled, ignorant, performative, and parasitic. That's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
I
think it's
just want
pretty
to make
accurate.
the distinction, though, that it's the far left, the woke left, those young people.
Yeah.
There are a very, very strong majority of young men in particular who are not that way.
Well, here in Tennessee,
And
but
I
in
think-
New York City, 75% of those under
Yeah.
30 voted
Yeah.
for Zohran Mamdani. Oh, let's continue with Heather McDonald.
Ignorant about the civilization that it holds in contempt, but which undergirds its every capacity, its every strength, its every entitlement, its every luxury, and it engages, as we saw with these ridiculous encampments, in the pseudo play acting of revolutionary fervor that is totally dependent on a larger infrastructure of public order and capitalism.
Yeah, very well said.
Performative. Boy,
Performative,
she's nailing it. It's an act for everyone.
They can't build anything.
No,
they can
and
just
they
be
can't
performative.
comprehend what real revolution would actually be.
Now, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is making a claim
Mm-hmm.
about the rise of socialism. Clip 3.
She says I can't tell you how many times Trump supporters have come up to me and said, yes on Democrat socialism, and I can learn from you. Well, I can tell you how many. 0. Didn't happen. She made it up. Because one thing you know about Trump supporters, they're pretty solid on their beliefs about socialism.
Okay, so let's say, I think Greg is right. 0 true MAGA supporters.
I'll take things that never happened for 500, please, Alex. Absolutely not. Yeah.
Caroline Levitt had a few words on that too. Clip 8.
Absolutely not. In fact, I'd like to see some of the people who actually said that to AOC and check their ballots and see if they actually voted for President Trump, because I can assure you MAGA Republicans oppose everything that AOC and the modern day Communist Democrat Party stands for. Mass migration and open borders like we saw under the Biden administration. Men and women's sports is something MAGA Republicans and frankly the whole country rejects. It's a 90-10 issue. Taxing people to death and taking their money and giving the majority of your income back to the government. That's a horrible idea.
All these things are true. And yet, EJ, according to exit polls, 75% of those under the age of 30 voted for the Muslim Marxist from Manhattan, Mamdani, to be the mayor of New York. And a socialist communist just won as mayor of Seattle. We have a minute left here.
Yeah, I was just going to say from the very beginning, that very first clip where she said we're about to be ruled by the students of Columbia University. That's kind of it, right?
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Entitled, ignorant,
performative, and parasitic. I love that.
That is a great, Heather is extremely intelligent, very articulate. We have to get her on. Okay, when we come back, H-1B trouble. But before we get to H-1B trouble, Hennepin County, Minnesota.
Gosh.
Yeah, learn how to
jab me with the Minnesota news stories.
I thought you would be delighted by my catch there. Back after this.
These illegal skill games, they keep popping up. Fights break out. They're illegal. We got drugs. We got gangs. They're all over the place. How do you get illegal slot machines in convenience stores when Governor Youngkin, you vetoed it and no referendum, nobody passed it? How are they still here?
At the end of the day, it is local Commonwealth's attorneys that have to bring the cases against the establishments and to get them out. And so, yes, I've vetoed bills. The high court has said that they can't be there. And on top of that, our attorney general has done a full investigation. And we go back to our Commonwealth's attorneys in so many jurisdictions refuse to enforce the law. That's the bottom line. They protect the criminals at the expense of the victims. And that's why, again, elections matter. We have got to elect prosecutors who will put people in jail.
This ad paid for by Churchill Downs.
Is your pet ready for some possum fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at creeksidepethotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
Why is Purple Wave Auction the fastest growing heavy equipment marketplace? Our full service online auctions take the hassle out of buying and selling farm, construction, and fleet equipment. Thousands of business owners partner with Purple Wave each month to manage their equipment. Sellers count on our experienced professionals to handle the marketing, paperwork, and payments. And bidders trust in a marketplace free of reserves and hidden fees. Purple Wave is the turnkey online auction service you've been looking for. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. Ever wonder why the big wireless companies want you on an unlimited plan? It's because they need you to help cover the cost of the 20-somethings who are using a lot of data every month. Fact is, according to the latest research studies, most people 50 and up, like me, only use 12 gigs or less each month. Don't get bamboozled by big wireless. At Consumer Cellular, pick what suits your needs. Whether it's 1 gig, 5, 10, or unlimited, The point is, pay for exactly what you need and nothing more. We use the same towers as the big guys, but since we don't own and maintain them, we can pass the savings on to you. Our plans start at just $20 a month, and you'll get the best customer service in the business. I want to invite you to join the millions of people who choose something better than big wireless. Because if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at GlockStore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at GlockStore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
I didn't risk my life for this country just to watch career politicians wreck it.
Matt Van Epps, 9 combat tours, true American hero.
Now, I'm on a new mission to bring down prices, create good-paying jobs, and lower healthcare costs for working families. I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message to fight for America, because that's what I've done my whole life.
Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
You know, EJ, you once lived in Minnesota.
It seems like a distant memory now.
Minnesota is crazy.
Yeah.
And Minneapolis is, leading that craziness.
Sure.
It once was a wonderful city.
It used to be, for all the right reasons, vibrant, right? Like
Right.
great foodie scene, really cool places to go, places to shop. It's very sad. In fact, when I first moved there, it was pretty early on in 2008, right? Yes, 2008. It was beautiful. We loved it there. We would frequently go into the city.
It hadn't started the descent into craziness.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Well,
back
it
when they
started it,
actually,
maybe.
they did elect Republicans. Even squishy ones like Tim Pawlenty, they still...
Who was governor.
Yeah.
Well, what happened then is they brought in a bunch of Somali refugees. Now, I think there are over 150,000 Somali refugees in Minnesota, maybe more now.
But it's got to be more. I did that math a long time ago, but it's got to be more. And it used to really be centered in this one kind of, they call it Cedar Riverside neighborhood. It's in District 5, which is Representative Ilhan Omar's district. But now it's also migrated. Now we've got
All over the
neighborhoods
place.
in St. Cloud, Duluth. Yeah.
And the mayor that did the soy boy mayor, Jacob Fry, the one who let Minneapolis burn during the George Floyd riots, that guy had to pander to the Somali community to beat a socialist Somali refugee who
in
ran
order to get elected. Yeah.
And I mean, there are all these videos of him speaking in Somali, doing Somali dances,
Dancing, waving the flag, all
and
the things.
it's just humiliatingly embarrassing, but that's what he's doing. And he barely won. But the county there, Minneapolis, Hennepin County is Minneapolis, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Hennepin County has gone as woke as you can go. And they put out a guideline to all the county employees. And I saw this and I thought, this has got to be a Saturday Night Live skit or something. This can't be real. But, I ran it through Grok. Is this real? yes, this is real, and then put all sorts of links to verify it. Even though that Grok says it's real, I'm still not sure it's so over the top. Are you ready for this training video for all Hennepin County employees on how to properly use pronouns?
Let's hear it.
All right, here we go. Hennepin County, how to use pronouns.
I use he, him, and his. And when someone uses my pronouns, it makes me feel respected.
I use he, him, and asking for someone else's pronouns helps me avoid misgendering my coworkers.
I use they, them pronouns because sharing my pronouns creates an inclusive environment.
I use she, her, hers. And when someone uses my pronouns correctly, it tells me my coworkers care about me.
Welcome to the Why Pronouns Matter video training. By the end of this training, you will be able to identify commonly used pronouns, connect correct pronoun usage with creating a respectful workplace, how to normalize sharing and asking for pronouns, and how to apologize when you make a mistake.
Here are examples of personal pronouns.
My word.
I'm sure you know most of them, but some are probably new to you. Also, some people may use their names instead of pronouns, or many use multiple sets of pronouns. For example, someone might tell you, my pronouns...
Pause. Okay, there's just so much ridiculousness
Some
here.
people are going to tell you their pronouns, other people aren't. So then you have to ask other people what their pronouns are if they don't tell you. But then you might have that some people use multiple pronouns, so you're never really going to know exactly which pronouns to use. So it's better if you just don't use pronouns at all and call people by their names, because, oh my goodness, what the heck is that? That hurts my head. Can you imagine you go into a new job and you're like, hey, I can't wait to learn, the responsibilities of my work. And I really want to dig in and show me the computer. What are my new passwords? Well, wait, before we get to that.
You have to respect your coworkers by using the proper pronoun.
Right. And of course they had, every color of the rainbow, gay, straight, whatever. I mean, a
the
woman.
Video, when you see the video, you'll see the bizarre look of the county employees.
Listen, this is why words matter, and I'm going to defer to the dictionary. And the dictionary of old, not the woke dictionary now, and not the urban dictionary, but like the dictionary. Words matter. This is why biology is important. This is why this whole thing is a 90-10 issue. You are a man or you are a woman. Period. End of story.
Except not in Hennepin County, Minnesota, if you're a county employee.
Can you imagine?
Now, let me ask you.
Oh my gosh.
Having watched the first 2/3 of this.
Yeah.
Do you think it's really real? Even though I think it is.
I know. I think it is.
Yeah.
I think it is. Those people look dead serious. I just can't imagine. I can't imagine you go into a new job and they're like, you're going to have to go through these HR modules, right? And you're going to have to learn, used to be sexual harassment, like don't make a joke about, boobs and bums, right? In the locker room or the water cooler. Now it's like, okay, I'd have to have a notebook. I'd have to walk around with a notebook and remember who said their what, so that when I walk up to so-and-so and I say hello and I address them by, well, wait, let me look you up real quick. You're a they, them. You're only one person though. So where are the rest of you? Like, how many personalities do you have in there? They, them doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's not a thing.
It's counterfactual, counterlogical. Yeah. Would you like to hear the rest of this thing?
It's okay.
I mean, because...
I'm
know.
close to combustion.
Here we go.
Or they, them. That means either is fine. You can ask them if they have a preference. If you don't know how to pronounce certain pronouns, you can look them up.
Using the correct pronouns for a coworker or client tells them you respect who they are as a person. It shows that you listen to them, and it actively demonstrates the core value of customer service and diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Pause. Did you know? Diversity, equity, and inclusion is still a core value.
Wait, back up.
Hold it. Customer service.
You might not know how to pronounce someone's pronouns.
He,
she,
him,
they,
her,
them, him.
There's some kind of other thing. Zer, zag, zum. I don't know.
Yeah, those aren't real things. I'm sorry. I can't. Those are not real things.
All right. We got more of this pronoun training for Hennepin County, Minnesota employees.
We use correct pronouns. We help create a welcoming workplace and avoid unnecessary harm. By allowing everyone to feel more comfortable and to be their authentic selves, we can build stronger teams.
The pronouns someone uses are often connected to their gender identity. Gender identity is a personal sense of one's own gender, which can correlate with a person's assigned sex at birth, or it can differ from it. It's important to know that the pronouns someone uses do not necessarily match their name, how they dress, or how they openly express themselves. And the choice of pronouns can change and adapt to their identities over time.
If you decide to share your pronouns, here are some ways you can do it.
If you decide to.
Share your pronouns when introducing.
I had to. You just told me I had to know their pronouns.
We got to know them, but you don't have to share your pronoun.
But you don't have to share them. So, and then you might not dress like your pronouns. Why?
Well, let's see if we can find out.
Include your pronouns in your email signature. Introduce new team members with their pronouns.
If you are not sure about someone's pronouns, you can just ask or use gender-neutral pronouns or the person's name. Try not to guess because we don't know someone's gender until we ask.
Wait, can we just stop? Wait.
I think we can stop right there. EJ, did you know we don't know someone's gender till we ask? We got a minute.
Pretty obvious, man. It's pretty obvious. This is absolutely madness. These are adults, grown adults working for your county.
No, they're adolescents who haven't grown up yet.
Oh my goodness.
So another reason to leave Hennepin County.
I need a breath and a cup of coffee.
I got the coffee. Back. Now we'll attack HB1 visas after we've addressed pronouns. Back with EJ Host after this.
Now more than ever, it's imperative to support companies that share our conservative values. That's why I can't be more excited to tell you that I've switched my family to Patriot Mobile. Patriot Mobile is America's only Christian conservative wireless provider. When you switch to Patriot Mobile, you shift your support away from the leftist, woke, progressive agendas of Big Mobile. Patriot Mobile's wireless service works perfectly and seamlessly as you go about your lives with exceptional nationwide coverage that uses the same towers the main carriers use. Patriot Mobile donates a portion of every dollar earned to causes you care about, to organizations that fight for religious freedom, First and Second Amendments, sanctity of life, and the needs of veterans and first responders. Patriot Mobile has plans to fit any budget, along with great discounts for our veterans and first responder heroes, as well as multi-line users. Switching is easy. Just go to patriotmobile.com/Godzilla or call their U.S.-based customer service team, 972-PATRIOT. That's 972-728-7468. Use offer code Godzilla for free activation.
How much did you win at Rosie's Gaming Emporium?
Hi, I'm Jerry from Richmond. I won a $23,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
I'm Tammy. I'm from Newport News, and I just won a $5,400 jackpot from Rosie's.
Hi, my name is Kim, and I'm from Gloucester, Virginia, and I won $99,000 jackpot at Rosie's.
Are you ready? Learn more about Rosie's rewards and jackpots at rosiesgaming.com. Must be 18 or older. Problem gambling? Call 1-888-532-3500.
President Trump is rebuilding our economy, but we need every American in the fight. People leaving federal prison have a 60% unemployment rate, but a job is the #1 factor in preventing reoffense. The Safer Supervision Act is a pro-jobs bill. It helps people leaving prison on federal supervision rejoin our workforce to turn former prisoners into taxpayers. Strengthen our economy. Make America safer. Support the Safer Supervision Act. Visit safersupervision.com. This message paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
The Katz and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Cats and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
Is your fur baby looking a bit rough? Transform them from shaggy to snazzy with Befur and After Pet Grooming in Marietta, Georgia. Their top-notch groomers pamper your pups with baths, custom cuts, and nail trims that'll have them strutting like show dogs. From mobile grooming vans to their cozy salon, they'll make your pet spa day a tail-wagging blast. Book now at BefurandAfterGrooming.com. Befur and After, where pets go from grr to glamorous.
My fellow Americans, I have to tell you about my good friends at D.T. McCall & Sons. They have furniture and appliances and a lot more. They've been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years, and they're not going to rip you off. No hidden charges, no delivery charges, no charges for all of the crazy things. These are sick people at the lumber yards. These are very sick people. They charge you for cords and hoses and haul off. They charge you for all of these things. They call them hidden charges. It's the type of surprise that you don't want to see. It's like an October surprise, but it's worse. D.T. McCall & Sons, they're not going to do that. They're great people. They're going to give you a great deal. With locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, D.T. McCall & Sons will give you the deal of your life. Check them out today or go to dtmccalls.com.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message.
Meet woke liberal Afton Bain.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Afton Bain, so woke, she thinks it's a win to harass police.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Woke liberal Afton Bain. When she wins, we lose.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Hi, everyone. EJ Host here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere: Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, EJ Host. EJ, let me start off with my own view of these things. I think Donald Trump is the greatest president in American history since Abraham Lincoln and George Washington. Had he not been elected, we would no longer have a constitutional republic. Having said that, even George Washington and Abraham Lincoln were occasionally incorrect. And the president was interviewed by Laura Ingraham earlier this week. And he said, well, we need the H-1 visa program. I think that's a mistake.
Me too.
And I think the H-1B visa program has been used to bring in lower cost labor to big tech companies and to bring in even more, mostly from India, some from China, some from other countries. And the president made a mistake when he said we can't develop those skills here.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on this?
Basically what he said in that interview was that we don't have the necessary talent here in America to fill these technology jobs. There's a couple of problems with this. And really, this is kind of a big blunder for President Trump, because ignoring what young people are going through, which is not being able to get jobs, not being able to get housing.
Right.
And understanding that American jobs, not just in tech, are being taken by people who are foreign born. And so I did a little research. I thought, you know what, just in my gut, this feels wrong. And I felt like I know in my gut that there's something wrong with this whole program. Like most federal programs, it's probably abused. Let me figure it out. Like, what are the real things here? So H-1B visas, it was established in 1990 by who?
1990, that would be George
H.W. Bush. Yeah. And like most federal programs, it was intended to be temporary. It was to fill a gap.
Wait, hold it. This would be like 35 years ago.
Correct.
A temporary program, well, only 35 years.
It's like everything else. It's like SNAP, where you're only supposed to take it for a little while. It's like WIC, where you're only supposed to take it for a little while. Most of these programs that start as a temporary fix to a problem end up being ongoing and costing us billions and billions of dollars later.
Mm-hmm.
So that was supposed to be a fix. Part of that.
I didn't like the program to begin with, but now that you've reminded me that it was started by George H.W. Bush.
And pushed very hard by technology companies
I'm
at
shocked.
the time, right? They wanted different types of labor. And
cheaper labor,
yes. Yep. And so not only temporary, but then like all federal programs.
Cheaper labor that would not give them a hard time.
Correct.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily need benefits all the time because they can get the benefits from the government and things like that. So it really, it's a web, right? There's a lot going on there. And then, of course, it's abused. So, we actually have H-1B visas now going for, we've heard stories of cashiers in grocery stores or in gas stations. How about English teachers? Why do we need English teachers in the South, right here in Knoxville, Tennessee, that are drawing on the H-1B visa program? We don't have English speakers here in Knoxville. I think we do.
Is that a tech job? To be teaching
right.
English?
So it's not just tech jobs. We also have a problem with H-1B visas in, get it, our healthcare system.
Mm-hmm.
So in our healthcare system, we're bringing over foreign workers to be nurses and orderlies and things like that as well. So
is that a job Americans can't do?
Apparently, it's a job Americans won't do. But remember that a lot of this started because technology companies, we were going through this boom, this engineering boom where we were trying to make batteries and do all kinds of things. Okay. So I do think that
it worked so well in making semiconductor chips for us, didn't it?
Right. I mean, how
many do we make here? Like
and that was
none.
Part
They're all made
of
in Taiwan now.
That's how they sold it to us, was that this H-1B visa program was going to, get us over the hump. Okay. So fast forward a little bit. About a decade later, they start talking more about the STEM programs, science, technology, engineering, and math in our schools, K through 12 schools. Do you have any idea how much money we spend every year on STEM in K through 12? I'm
about to find out.
It started, it actually started in the 70s where they were trying, and then it wasn't quite working, but it was under $1 billion. $3 billion, $3.9 billion, upwards of $4 billion per year, every year since 2010. Every year since 2010. So we're talking about tens of billions of dollars that the United States education system has spent on STEM, which is supposed to educate American kids and then adults into becoming the technology job takers that H-1B visa people are taking.
So let me throw out a stat that I just saw.
Okay.
The University of California at San Diego, you may have seen this, which is, it has been a respected institution out there. About a decade ago, they would have to conduct remedial mathematics for 1 out of every 100 new freshmen. Today, 1 out of 8 need to have remedial math.
Yeah.
What are you doing going to UC San Diego and need remedial math?
Right. I'm going to tell you
that all that STEM money, not doing such a good job, are they?
No, definitely not. And so let's nix that program then. Leave it up to the local districts to include, we should be doing science and technology, and we don't need extra money for that. That's just what they should be teaching, period. And full stop. They should be teaching math, right? And they've received billions of dollars over the years, these K through 12 schools, and it's all over the country too. Like, this is not just a few select elite schools. It's the entire country. And everyone knows that this is where we're heading, and we've known it for a long time that technology is very important. So I did a little bit more digging, like, okay, are they actually taking jobs? You know, is it, you're seeing lots of misinformation out there. Is it really only 0.43% of the jobs in America are taken by H-1B visa holders? No. and the best I can find, so 2.14 million students graduated with a bachelor's in 2024. This is according to the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. Only 868,000 out of that 2.14 million were employed by the following October. So imagine they graduate in, May most likely, and by October, it's less than half have actually received a job.
Why is that?
Well, simultaneously approved that year in 2024, 399,395 H-1B visas. So while,
and a lot of them, I saw Will Cain on Fox News say 80% of H-1B visa recipients are for entry-level or mid-level jobs.
Exactly,
not the
right.
high-end jobs where we got to have a genius come in.
Right. And there's actually another program for geniuses. So there's actually two other programs. There's like an OPT program, OPT, that can, and then there's also like these special visas for, highly qualified, can't get him anywhere. It's the only brain surgeon in the whole world, and he has to work at this hospital, right? Like,
right.
There's a plan for that. So while I don't think, all jobs are being taken by H-1B visas, it does tie back in, however, to our immigration policies. So you can't say we have to nix all the illegal immigrants and think we're going to fix the problem. We also have a problem with legal immigration.
Indeed, we do.
So there's that. J.D. Vance was actually interviewed this week also. And he had a little something to say. Do you mind if we play this clip?
Let's play the J.D. Vance clip about this, talking about this.
I know that there are a lot of people out there, Sean, who are saying things are expensive. And we have to remember they're expensive because we inherited this terrible inflation crisis from the Biden administration. But you've already seen signs that things are getting better. The price of eggs has gone way down. The price of energy has gone way down. The price of gasoline has gone way down. And as we know, when the price of energy goes down, that starts to filter out into the entire economy, but that also takes a little bit of time. There's another component of this, Sean, which to me is maybe the most important because I care so much about our young people being able to afford a good life. A lot of young people are saying housing is way too expensive. Why is that? Because we flooded the country with 30 million illegal immigrants who were taking houses that ought by right go to American citizens. And at the same time, we weren't building enough new houses to begin with, even for the population that we had. So what we're doing is trying to make it easier to build houses, trying to make it easier to build factories and things like that so that people have good jobs. We're also getting all of those illegal aliens out of our country, and you're already seeing it start to pay some dividends.
So he makes a good point, right? 30 million illegal immigrants taking places that are more likely to be rental properties and such. They're
right.
not really buying homes, but who is buying a home is maybe your H-1B visa. And so we can't tackle one without tackling the other. I'm firmly opposed to either maintaining or expanding on the H-1B visas.
Well, I'm in favor of something even more drastic. Would you like to hear about that?
Yes, I would.
We'll hear about that when we get back. That's called what?
A tease.
A tease. Back after this with the one and only E.J. Haas.
Is a record player the best way to listen to music? Of course not.
So why are you still taking vitamins in pill form that haven't been upgraded since the 1930s? Even if you don't have trouble swallowing, most vitamins in pill form can't be absorbed very well. It's time to upgrade to the pill-free future of vitamins. Advanced nutrition company, Healthy Cell, created a patent-pending ingestible gel that is clinically proven to have 265% the absorption rate of tablets. These physician-formulated supplements come in a small gel pack. You tear off the top and shoot it down. You can also mix it in water. They taste great, they're convenient on the go, and they're more natural too, without chemical binders, fillers, and coatings. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com. HEALTHYCELL.com.
Get in. We're stealing homes. We're not like those other home criminals that steal your stuff. We steal your hard-earned home equity. We find your property online from the public record. Got it. Create a deed transfer that makes us the homeowners. Got it. And borrow tons of cash against your equity, and you won't know till the foreclosure notice hits months later.
Just go to HometitleLock.com/Godzilla. Protect yourself. Cold weather is here, and it's only getting colder. When you want instant whole room warmth, you go with Eden Pure, a trusted name for years on my show. Now they've done it again with the Eden Pure Gen 40 Plus infrared heater. This powerful compact unit gives you fast, even heat you can feel in seconds. Infrared heat warms you directly, not just the air around you, and it doesn't dry out the air. It's quiet, compact, and safe with multiple built-in safety shutoffs, and it heats up to 1,000 square feet. Perfect for the living room, bedroom, or office. And right now, Eden Pure is thanking our listeners. The Gen 40 Plus normally sells for $224, but Eden Pure is giving our VIP listeners an additional $50 off, bringing it to just $174. That's right, only $174 for state-of-the-art infrared heater. Now, this is a limited time offer with a strict limit of 3, and supplies are moving fast. So go to EdenPureDeals.com, use promo code Godzilla50. EdenPureDeals.com, promo code Godzilla50.
Is your fur baby looking a bit rough? Transform them from shaggy to snazzy with Befur and After Pet Grooming in Marietta, Georgia. Their top-notch groomers pamper your pups with baths, custom cuts, and nail trims that'll have them strutting like show dogs. From mobile grooming vans to their cozy salon, they'll make your pet spa day a tail-wagging blast. Book now at BefurandAfterGrooming.com. Befur and After, where pets go from grr to glamorous.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. In studio, official guest host of the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, E.J. Haas. You'll be guest hosting on Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'll be up in Washington, D.C. We are nominated, Christina Botteri and Tom Pappert and I are nominated in 2 categories for a National Journalism Award.
Exciting.
And so we'll see. I may, and part of that, I may be kind of remotely, I may be in John Frederick's studio. So
nice.
We'll be co-hosting on all that. So we'll see how that all plays out.
Excellent. I'm going to assume we've got a haircut planned, maybe a facial, fitting for a tuxedo. We're doing big things, right?
Well, it's a black tie event.
Yeah.
I don't do any of that stuff. I don't even think I have a black tie outfit. So we'll figure out how to do that. These are things I don't think about.
I mean, maybe just
But
run,
you would think about
run
these.
it by the wifey.
That is the smart thing to do.
Okay, and she'll figure it out.
Okay,
for you.
so are you ready for my answer?
Yeah.
So I agree with Chip Roy. We need to freeze all immigration.
Agreed.
For, I'd say, 10 years. And the reason is we have a problem because foreign-born residents of America are not assimilating at the level that we need them to.
Right.
Many of them hate America and want to change our constitutional republic. Now, having said that, and I looked at this data, we have the highest foreign-born population in the history of the country right now.
Yeah.
51 million, supposedly out of 345 million, and that's 15.7%. Way back in 1920, when we had a problem with assimilation, not nearly as bad as it is right now, we were at 13.7% foreign-born. And they said, no, it's not working. We gotta stop that. And guess what happened? Between 1920 and 1965, the foreign-born population of the United States declined to 4.8%. I was a kid when that was going on.
Sure.
Right? But then Edward Kennedy thought, let's open the doors up.
Yep.
And boom.
And Orrin Hatch, right?
Yeah,
he was part of that too.
Terrible.
Uh-huh.
Now, there are so many problems when the foreign-born population is so great and doesn't assimilate. I think it's actually greater than the reported 15.7%.
It has to be. We don't have solid numbers on illegal immigration.
Well,
but also foreign-born. So maybe they received a visa for a bit, and now they're citizens, but they're not. I mean, look at Ilhan Omar, Representative Ilhan Omar. She's a citizen.
Allegedly.
She's foreign-born and she hates America.
Right.
So that's not helping.
Yeah. And Zoran Mamdani, born in Uganda,
similarly,
moved here at 7, became a citizen allegedly in 2018, but there's some questions about that. But how many Zoran Mamdanis are there in that foreign-born population?
Right. A
lot. 36% of the voting population in New York City is foreign-born. They voted for overwhelmingly, like 62% to 25% for Mamdani.
Right.
They don't believe in America. This is the problem. And we have to solve it. Also, on the numbers, I don't believe the numbers that there are only 51 million foreign-born.
Yeah, I don't.
Because that's based upon an estimate of 13 million illegals in that 51 million. But we just heard J.D. Vance say there are 30 million illegals.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you change those numbers to reflect that, you're looking at 70 million, about 20% foreign-born. And so that's got to stop. And the problem is, I mean, we're having enough difficulty with H-1B visas, right, just to end that. And
that temporary program from
that
George
temporary
H.W.
35-year-old program.
Yeah.
Right. So this is a huge, huge problem, and it must be addressed. And all I have to say is, if you think that this is an overreaction, go to London. Go to Manchester. Go to Birmingham in England, United Kingdom.
Good point.
Those countries have been overrun.
Yeah.
Go to Dearborn, Michigan, and try to sit up and say the Pledge of Allegiance in a school.
Yeah.
With the American flag. What's going to happen to you?
Yeah.
It's not going to work out well.
I went to Cardiff for a
In
work
Wales.
event in Wales, and we were told when we arrived, and this must have been 2019.
Right.
Christmas time 2019. And we were told 2018, apologies. It was 2018. And we were told when we arrived by both the driver, it was a work thing, so we were on a bus going, and by the driver of the bus, and then also by our guides who were having a conversation, stay close to the hotel. And it was a beautiful, I mean, really spectacular kind of estate-looking hotel to stay in and everything else. So where we were was very, very nice. And they said, don't go 2 blocks this direction or that direction.
So there's some places that are not safe
They're
to go.
just basically no-go zones.
No-go zones, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Like Paris.
And that was 2018.
Paris has been surrendered, of course.
So imagine how much worse it is now. That was 2018.
Yeah. And you look at the way that the Brits have totally thrown away their heritage and history. Cardiff, I'm pretty sure, is where the Prince of Wales typically is named the Prince of Wales. They go to Cardiff.
Yeah.
And
we saw beautiful things. It's such a lovely area.
But it's gone. England is, the United Kingdom is lost.
It's in a lot of trouble. Yeah.
Minneapolis, Hennepin County, Dearborn, Michigan. They're lost right now, and New York City is about to be lost.
But the assimilation thing is really important.
Yeah.
If you're going to move to another country, expect to live like the people live there.
Except they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
They want to change America. And on that happy note, E.J. Haas, up next, the very best writer in America. The one, the only, Roger L. Simon. E.J., thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, back after this.
Each of us is born with 30 trillion cells that make us. These cells determine how we feel, perform, sleep, focus, and how long we live. And to live our best life, all we have to do is feed our cells properly. But most supplements don't reach our cells, keeping us from reaching our full potential. Make every cell count with Healthy Cell. Founded with a mission to empower people to take control of their own health at the most fundamental level, the cell. Dr. Vincent Giampapa, world-renowned cell researcher and medical doctor, created supplements that work at the cellular level to support immune health, better sleep, sharper focus, and healthy aging. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of any product. That's healthycell.com, HEALTHYCELL, and use code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Lifestyles Unlimited is a real estate education group that gives you the roadmap and resources to start building income through real estate. You'll learn practical strategies for using investment properties to create extra income and make informed decisions, one step at a time. Join today for just $297. That's a 60% savings off the regular price of our real estate education program. Text RADIO to 88007. That's RADIO to 88007. Presented by Lifestyles Unlimited.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on Getter, Truth Social, or Twitter at JF Radio Show.
WJFN W224EB 92.7 FM Chester, W299DB 107.7 Barnair, 100.5 FM Goochland, and WJF.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Greg Clugston in Washington. Ukraine came under heavy attack early this morning as Russia launched more than 400 drones and 18 missiles. 6 people were killed, 36 wounded. The attack hit the capital Kiev as well as 2 other cities. The BBC's Sue Montgomery has more.
President Zelensky accused Moscow of calculated attacks aimed at causing maximum harm to people and civilian infrastructure. He said the military had struck back overnight using a type of long-range Ukrainian cruise missile.
U.S. Customs and Border Protection agents could be deployed to Charlotte, North Carolina as soon as this weekend. It's the latest U.S. city preparing for a potential immigration crackdown by the Trump administration. Americans will be allowed to contribute more of their money to 401k and similar retirement saving plans starting next year.
The IRS says the maximum contribution for 401k, 403b, and most 457 plans will rise to $24,500. That's up from $23,500 this year. The IRS also raised the annual contribution limits for IRAs to $7,500. Those changes aim to help retirement savers set aside more income, especially older workers who started saving later in life. Bob Agnew reporting.
Walmart will be getting a new CEO early next year. Doug McMillon will retire at the end of January after leading the company since 2014. Company says that the current head of U.S. operations, John Furner, will take over as the chief executive of the nation's largest retailer. Officials in Gaza say that Israel has returned the bodies of 15 Palestinians. They were returned after Hamas militants handed over the body of one of the last 4 remaining Israeli hostages. More on these stories at townhall.com.
My mother is thinking of switching from Verizon to Pure Talk, but she's worried the deal sounds too good to be true. Michael, she said, how can those Pure Talk people offer me the same basic service as Verizon for so much less money? I said, Ma, go ask Google how much Verizon spends on advertising and promotions. A few seconds later, my mother said, oh my goodness, $12 billion a year? That must be a typo. I'll tell you what I told my mom. It's not a typo. Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotions, and their customers are paying for it. Well, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials. Trust me, I would know. That's why they can offer you and my mother unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data on a crazy fast 5G network for just $25 a month. And if you're a business owner, you could really save a fortune. Dial pound 250, say the words Mike Rowe, and you'll get an additional 50% off your first month. That's pound 250 Mike Rowe. Pure Talk. Everything you need and nothing you don't.
The British Broadcasting Corporation has apologized to President Trump over a misleading edit that angered the White House and prompted a presidential legal threat. Here's correspondent Ed Donahue.
The BBC says Chair Samir Shah sent a personal letter to the White House. He apologized but strongly disagreed there was a basis for a defamation lawsuit. The president's lawyer threatened a $1 billion lawsuit. The dispute was sparked by an edition of the BBC flagship current affairs series Panorama, broadcast days before the 2024 election. The edits were from a speech on the day of the Capitol riot. A third-party production company made the film and spliced together 3 quotes from 2 sections of the speech into what appeared to be one quote. This is White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt.
The president has made it very clear that this is a leftist propaganda machine that is unfortunately subsidized by British taxpayers.
I'm Ed Donahue.
News and analysis at townhall.com. Changes are coming to Doritos and Cheetos.
PepsiCo says it's launching toned-down versions of its bright orange snacks that won't have any artificial colors or flavors. Doritos and Cheetos, simply NKD, will hit store shelves December 1st. It's part of a much broader shift underway at the company that announced in April it would accelerate a planned transition to using natural colors in its foods and beverages. Jason Walker reporting.
3 Chinese astronauts have returned from their nation's space station after a 9-day delay. The delay was caused by tiny cracks in their return capsule, likely from being hit by space debris. The astronauts had been on a 6-month rotation and were originally scheduled to return earlier this month. China's space program has made steady progress since 2003, including launching a space station. More at townhall.com.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, our very good friend, my former boss at PJTV, Academy Award nominated screenwriter, the very best writer in America, Roger L. Simon. Roger, thanks so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, of course.
So, Roger, Heather McDonald is a first-rate, world-class conservative intellect.
Oh, absolutely. Her book on the police is a classic.
It's a classic, and she's very smart. I think she's a fellow at the Manhattan Institute.
Yes.
She was interviewed yesterday about what the election of Zohran Mamdani as mayor of New York City means.
I'd like to hear that.
Oh, yeah. Listen to this. We'll play the whole thing for you right now.
Okay.
Heather McDonald.
Well, first of all, he does. We are about to be governed by the Columbia University student body, a group of people. He embodies the undergraduate mindset. It's entitled, ignorant, performative, and parasitic. It is completely ignorant about the civilization that it holds in contempt, but which undergirds its every capacity, its every strength, its every entitlement, its every luxury, and it engages, as we saw with these ridiculous encampments, in the pseudo play acting of revolutionary fervor that is totally dependent on a larger infrastructure of public order and capitalism. It makes me sick that anybody ever takes any student protest seriously and pretend that these are people that are putting their lives at risk and heroic rebels sacrificing them.
So the part that you missed at the beginning is we're being governed by the student body of Columbia University in New York City. They're
yeah,
ignorant,
performative. Yeah, I got 2/3 of it, and as usual, she's right on the target. How it reminds me of one thing. It was 'Twas Ever Thus. In a play that I wrote with my wife that it was done in Beverly Hills of all places, appropriately. Involved with what it was like in the 20s and 30s in New York, and that's when the old phrase of limousine liberal was actually coined.
Really?
Yeah, way back then.
I didn't know that.
But was the first version of it was penthouse Bolsheviks.
Really?
Yes.
Penthouse Bolsheviks.
Yes. I forgot the name of the guy who coined that, but in any case, he was a journalist at the time who got the truth. Anyway,
sounds like very H.L. Mencken-like.
Yeah. Later than that, but
yeah.
The sad truth of the matter, it's always been this way, but it's gotten worse. And I think we can thank the internet, we can thank a lot of things for that, but I gotta say, Heather's a friend of mine. I don't know anybody who's more accurate and a better writer about this stuff in America right now. There isn't anybody.
Heather McDonald is brilliant on this. And she's nailed it entirely because there is, I think, we look at this, and those of us who've been involved from the very beginning, the Tea Party movement, as you know, when I went to work with you in 2009, 2010, which was committed to constitutionally limited government, fiscal responsibility, and free markets. Those were the three keys that we were focused on at that time. If you look at this, we've been warning about the rise of socialism. And the first victory of Donald Trump in 2016 was fantastic. It stopped that a bit. And then the cheating took place, and the auto pen, the somnambulant auto pen.
And COVID came in conveniently.
Yeah. Conveniently. Then the resurgence of Trump. And Trump won in 2024. Wow, that's great. And yet, Roger, here we are in November of 2025, a communist, in essence, an Islamo-Marxist communist, has been elected by 10 points, mayor of New York City.
Yes, our most important city, and another important city just today elects a democratic socialist, quote unquote, in Seattle.
And now Seattle, again, another blue city. I think you know both New York City. You grew up in New York City, but you also know Seattle. You had a house in Seattle.
Yeah, I had a house in a place called Bainbridge Island, which is really beautiful. I mean, it sort of looks like Lord of the Rings out there.
Beautiful setting.
Beautiful setting, but the average mentality is straight out of the Upper West Side, New York. Not Jewish this time, totally
Bolshevik.
Yeah. But it's the same mentality. I mean, it's moral narcissism. It's everything. It's virtue signaling up the yin yang, and it's just awful, and it's so stupid. I mean, because the whole thing about socialism is they don't care that it never worked.
No, they don't.
No. Because you confront them with that elementary fact, and it goes right by them because it's the moral narcissism. It's their virtue signaling they care about. They don't care about what really happened.
The adjective Heather McDonald used in that clip is performative.
Yes.
And this is all performative. In fact, you think conservatives and Republican MAGA supporters actually can build things that work.
Yeah.
Right? Like Elon Musk can build a rocket ship that works. Donald Trump can build a beautiful ballroom or beautiful buildings. You know, Bernie Sanders.
But, you know, even worse, those things are great. But the working class is the ones that really gets the short shrift by socialism. They're the ones who get killed, the ones that it's supposedly built for.
You know, you hear this from the Socialist Communist Party that's, you know, got the name Democrat on it right now. We're here for the working people. No, they're not.
They don't even know the working people.
They don't know working people. I mean, do they know anybody that goes into a factory and builds stuff? Do they know a plumber? Do they know somebody?
Well, they know their plumber.
They know their plumber.
But they don't talk to him much.
Now that is...
If they talk to their plumber, they'd learn something.
That's a very good point, because they don't.
No.
They think they're morally superior to their plumber.
Yeah.
They're not.
No. And in fact, the world is flipping fast. And that's the real, you know, behind all this thing. I'm optimistic in this way. What I mean is, with the onslaught of AI, the jobs that these people have are becoming irrelevant. But the job the plumber and the electrician have, those are the ones who are going to be making the money.
AI has had this consequence.
Yeah.
If you have a skilled trade, if you're an electrician, if you're a plumber, if you know how to install heating, ventilating, and air conditioning equipment, right?
Yeah.
If you're an auto mechanic, or if you're a welder,
yes,
you're gonna have a job. You're gonna make six figures.
Yep.
If you got a degree in gender studies
or sociology or English or philosophy,
you're going to be out there with your tin cup,
right?
Begging for the government to give you some kind of benefit, right?
Yeah. I wonder if it's eventually going to hurt the class that should. We have way too many lawyers in this country.
We do.
Yes.
Except the kid who's going to late law school.
Yeah. But you're doing it for a reason.
I am, because I'm trying to understand the craziness of it.
Yeah, exactly.
And by the way, every year I'm in law school, the legal profession gets crazier and crazier.
Oh, cool.
I gotta get out and fix it.
I think one of the reasons it gets crazier and crazier is there are too many lawyers.
Yeah. It's the kind of lawyers that are out there.
Yeah, well, even too many. Yeah.
We'll be back with Roger Simon after this.
Hey folks, Al Green here for SatPhone. When you're on the go, you want to know you're connected. If it's a family vacation or an off-the-grid escape to a remote destination, having reliable communication helps you feel safe and secure. You can't afford to find yourself in a dead zone. That's why you need SatPhone. SatPhones are reliable, durable, and give you global coverage. If you can get outside, you can get in touch. It's that simple. Make calls from your SatPhone to any regular cell phone in the United States. The phones are $1,500 value, but you can get yours free. Just sign up for a 15-month plan, $94.95 a month. Get 150 minutes monthly that roll to the next month. Go 3 months without using them, that's fine. Yes, 3 months, 450 minutes, all yours. Visit SAT123.com or call 855-980-5830. SAT123.com, 855-980-5830. Get surety and security with your SatPhone. Call now.
MyPillow and Mike Lindell are excited to announce they're having their biggest 3-in-1 sale ever. Mike loves John's listeners and viewers and says he agrees with President Trump. John has the best audience in America. Check this out. MyPillow bed sheets, any color, any style, any size, even kings. Regular $119.98, only $29.88. My Towels are finally back in stock, but not for long. Get a 6-piece My Towel set, regular $69.98, now only $39.98. And for the first and only time ever, get their limited edition premium My Pillows made with Giza cotton and a designer gusset. Queens $17.98, Kings only $19.98. Also for a limited time, when your order is over $100, you will receive free shipping plus $100 in free digital gifts. So go to mypillow.com or call 800-854-0504 and use promo code Godzilla. Use your promo code Godzilla for the best offers ever. Quantities are extremely limited, so order now. 800-854-0504, promo code Godzilla, or mypillow.com/Godzilla.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Cats and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
Is your fur baby looking a bit rough? Transform them from shaggy to snazzy with Be Fur and After Pet Grooming in Marietta, Georgia. Their top-notch groomers pamper your pups with baths, custom cuts, and nail trims that'll have them strutting like show dogs. From mobile grooming vans to their cozy salon, they'll make your pet spa day a tail-wagging blast. Book now at BeFurAndAfterGrooming.com. Be Fur and After, where pets go from grr to glamorous.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
I didn't risk my life for this country just to watch career politicians wreck it.
Matt Van Epps, 9 combat tours, true American hero.
Now, I'm on a new mission to bring down prices, create good-paying jobs, and lower healthcare costs for working families. I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message to fight for America, because that's what I've done my whole life.
Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
This is State Senator Mark Pouty. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pouty.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pouty, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. In studio, the best writer in America, Roger L. Simon. Roger, we were talking during the break about the impending demographic problem within the United States of America. Now, tell us a little bit what you mean by that, because I think you're right, but elaborate on that.
All right, well, let's start with something that we have to be honest about. Everything that we all depend on is a kind of a Ponzi scheme.
What? A Ponzi scheme?
Roger. A Ponzi scheme has a bad rep, right? On the other hand, that's what it is. Social Security is a Ponzi scheme. Medicare is a Ponzi scheme. Every pension plan that anybody out there listening has is probably a Ponzi scheme. And what I mean by that is something very simple. They're all dependent about there being more people in the next generation to contribute it to that, so that those retiring, and there's going to be a lot of us retiring, can get their pension, their Social Security, any of those things, or Medicare.
Just to remind our audience, Social Security, for instance. So if you're of a certain age and you're ready to receive Social Security, all of the money that you paid into Social Security in taxes during your working career was not invested in stocks or bonds or in an interest-bearing account. It was used to pay Social Security recipients when you were young.
Yes.
Now, when you're older, you are receiving Social Security benefits from younger workers, basically.
Yeah.
Their payments. Right?
Well, so all this means is something very simple. We need more people.
More younger working people.
Yeah, we need more people, but more. We need people to have babies. That's it.
Yeah.
And fewer people are having babies. Japan is in for a train wreck.
They've had a very low birth rate.
And Western
in Japan.
Europe is in for a train wreck.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, that's part of the reason they're having this horrifying Islamic immigration. They're replacing their original population with people from Islamic countries. Therefore, they're going to turn Islamic.
Islamic country, the immigrants from Islamic countries have a very high birth rate, don't they?
They have high birth rates and a totally different lifestyle.
Yeah,
including licensed misogyny and so forth.
Yeah,
that's why they have grooming and rape rooms and all the rest of it. Anyway, we are a little bit lucky in this country.
Really?
I'll explain why.
Tell me why.
More of our legal immigrants that have come here are from Catholic countries.
Mexico, Latin America.
They are more likely to assimilate a little bit. It's not good. But what they've got in Europe is disastrous.
Yeah, see, it's interesting. People think about Europe and they say, oh, they're European, they have high moral values. No, there's a reason that so many of our ancestors left Europe at various times. They fled Europe.
Yeah.
They fled the tyranny of Europe for the freedom of America. Yeah.
Yeah, and we better preserve it because, it may be freedom in one country here.
So you say that kind of laughingly, but I don't think it's laughingly.
No,
I think actually, we'll talk about this a little bit more in the next segment, but it's not just one country, but you see the leader of freedom in the world is clearly the United States of America.
Yeah.
Now, traditional allies where freedom once used to exist, it no longer exists.
Right.
In the United Kingdom.
Yeah, that's why
freedom of speech
this
is gone.
fight against Israel is crazy. Yeah. That's going on. But we can discuss that because it's an actual real ally as opposed to.
Well, in terms of where freedom exists in countries today, United States, Israel, and a couple of Eastern European countries.
Yes.
That's about it.
Yes. Yes.
And everything else is turning totalitarian.
Yeah. It may be true in Taiwan and Japan and so forth.
To a degree.
Yes,
yeah. That's correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. But as you say, Europe has gone full totalitarian.
Yeah. No,
it's and for a while, remember when we had Brexit.
It looked good.
It looked good. But and to kind of make a parallel to what's happened here in the United States, you get a political victory, and then the forces of freedom kind of go, okay, it's done.
Yeah, and then
but the forces of totalitarianism never give up.
No,
Roger.
they don't.
And so, Brexit has never really been completely implemented, and it narrowly won. It was hailed as a big victory, but freedom in the United Kingdom today has declined dramatically since Brexit.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the other hand, the counter forces are rallying, and we'll see what happens. There could be a civil war in the United.
Where?
If there's one place in the world that's ripe for civil war, it's the United Kingdom.
I think you're right. Tell me why, and tell me what.
Well, you look at Tommy Robinson and these people, and you look at these mass demonstrations they're staging, and the amount of people that actually show up for them is not small. So that means that something could be happening there. It could be the irresistible force meets the immovable object is a prescription for a civil war.
Traditional, those who are kind of follow traditional British values,
Right.
for instance. And
Yeah.
so, it was poignant and sad. But a veteran of World War II, about 100 years old, was on BBC or one of the networks there, and he was crying. He said, "Why did I fight so hard, and all of my friends die in World War II because I don't have freedom in
My question
Britain?"
is, was that the BBC? Doesn't sound like it was.
It might have
the
been
BBC.
It might have been one of the other ones. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Might have
the
been
point
GB
is,
News or one of the others.
the point is that you look at this. I mean, England had a civil war in the 17th century.
Yeah.
Now, the dimensions of a civil war would be, I think, very different today, right? What elements of it? What would a civil war look like today? Very different, I think.
Very bloody.
Yeah, there would be.
I don't know. That's something. Those things become unpredictable.
Yeah,
and
there's a reason why. Actually, though, I would argue that the lack of a Second Amendment in Britain probably increases the likelihood of a civil war.
Yes,
and the presence of a Second Amendment in the United States dramatically decreases the likelihood of it, because basically, if the left were to say, we're going to come after all you conservatives, it would not be a fair match if it was just, wild and woolly, because conservatives have many more guns.
Yes.
Right? I mean, but you see that on the left, they're doing the John Brown rifle clubs. I mean, the left is arming itself as well, but
yes.
more in a militia style, I think, than the average
I don't
lefty.
think they're arming themselves very extensively.
Yeah, but there are some. Yeah,
Yeah, but a lot of the foreigners come from very violent cultures. So
they do, and they don't care. They have a totally different culture.
Yeah,
it's really what they're trying to accomplish in the United Kingdom, and to some extent already have, is the destruction of traditional Britain.
Oh,
yeah,
it's incredibly in the big cities. It's gone, and out in the countryside, probably there are some places where you find it.
But the powers of the cities, right?
Of course.
And
the other thing is the whole knife culture. The people are being knives all over the place because guns are illegal with the.
So they have knives.
They have knives.
Yeah.
And nothing's scarier. Oh boy, I'd rather be shot. Take it back.
All I have to say,
either.
I am glad we live in the United States of America and nowhere else. This is the place where freedom will continue.
Right.
Back with Roger. More trouble from Tucker Carlson. He gets worse and worse.
Yes.
I'm sorry to say.
Yeah.
Back after this.
Get in. We're stealing homes. We're not like those other home criminals that steal your stuff. We steal your hard-earned home equity. We find your property online from the public record. Got it. Create a deed transfer that makes us the homeowners. Got it. And borrow tons of cash against your equity, and you won't know till the foreclosure notice hits months later.
Just go to HometitleLock.com/Godzilla. Protect yourself.
Cold weather is here, and it's only getting colder. When you want instant whole room warmth, you go with Eden Pure, a trusted name for years on my show. Now they've done it again with the Eden Pure Gen 40 Plus infrared heater. This powerful compact unit gives you fast, even heat you can feel in seconds. Infrared heat warms you directly, not just the air around you, and it doesn't dry out the air. It's quiet, compact, and safe with multiple built-in safety shutoffs, and it heats up to 1,000 square feet. Perfect for the living room, bedroom, or office. And right now, Eden Pure is thanking our listeners. The Gen 40 Plus normally sells for $224, but Eden Pure is giving our VIP listeners an additional $50 off bringing it to just $174. That's right, only $174 for state-of-the-art infrared heater. Now, this is a limited time offer with a strict limit of 3, and supplies are moving fast. So go to EdenPureDeals.com, use promo code Godzilla50. EdenPureDeals.com, promo code Godzilla50.
Ponder this. Most of us in America have more than we need to sustain ourselves, like a roof over our heads, food to eat, and clothes to wear, and much more. The one thing we seem to be lacking every day is more time. There is never enough time in our day, or in a night for that matter. That being said, we try to create more time each day by rushing around to perhaps buy a little more time. We rush from one event to another. We double or even triple task to save time. We drive fast cars to get to our fast food restaurants. Our days are full with little time left for family, friends, and God. To better manage your pace, take a minute each morning to get on your knees and let the Lord know that you are giving Him all your time today. Sincerely ask Him to give you clear direction on what He wants you to accomplish each day. The Lord will make sure you have plenty of time for His will to be done without rushing around. Listen to the Lord to manage your time each day. I'm Susie Kelly, and I am Passionately Catholic.
Is your pet ready for some possum fun? At Creekside Pet Hotel in Kennesaw, every day is a tail-wagging adventure. Whether they're romping with friends in day camp, enjoying a staycation in our cozy boarding, or getting pampered in our luxury spa, we make sure every furry guest gets the royal treatment. Happy pets, wagging tails, and the best care. What more could they ask for? Book your pet's perfect getaway today at CreeksidePetHotel.com or give us a call at 770-422-4700.
I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message.
Meet woke liberal Afton Bain.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Afton Bain, so woke she thinks it's a win to harass police.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Woke liberal Afton Bain. When she wins, we lose.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
My fellow Americans, I was this close, very close, to buying from the lumber yards. These are sick people. But I turned my head at the last second, and I saw a big, beautiful ad for D.T. McCall's. These are highly respected people. If I had not turned my head at the last second, I would have been ripped off at some lumberyard for $200 in hidden charges, and D.T. McCall & Sons are never going to do that. They'd never do that to you. These are great people. I've known them for a long time. They have great deals, and I just have to say, nobody knows deals like I do. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. These are tremendous people. D.T. McCall & Sons. Check out one of their stores today.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
In studio with our very good friend, Roger Simon. Roger, you know, I have this sort of eerie feeling that although Trump won mercifully, and Trump 2.0 has been very successful in many, many ways, I have a feeling, an odd sense, that there's about to be a huge disruption in the universe. And I just, you know, there are many examples of that. And one of them, I think, has to do with the rise of anti-Semitism, not just in the world, but in parts of the United States. Your thoughts on this?
Oh, absolutely. And part of, you know, you see it everywhere. I mean, it's become like an epidemic.
There was a guy, who's the guy that does the pizza, One Bite Pizza reviews? He had,
yeah, I know who you mean.
Dave Portnoy. He was down at some campus, and some kid came by and started yelling anti-Semitic epithets at him
during a pizza review.
Yeah, it's like, what is wrong with people?
I mean, so that's a sign of a cultural epidemic that's going on. The people who don't know anything about history, and actually, throughout history, not just the Nazi period, which some people know about, a lot of people don't, going back thousands of years, every time there's been a movement of more anti-Semitism, society has been destroyed.
Yeah.
It's like, even like the Second World War, everybody debates whether 6 million Jews actually went in the Holocaust. Actually, right now, at the Yad Vashem in Jerusalem, the Holocaust Museum, they have 5 million names of people who died.
The names of the people who died.
So if they have 5 million
historic
names,
documentation.
The fact is that there are a million missing is not very hard to imagine. Anyway, but that notwithstanding, what most people don't realize is that those 6 million Jews were just part of who got killed in World War II. I mean, 20 million people in Russia got killed.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole thing, that's what it leads to. So that to begin with that, and the hostility against Trump is part of this, because there's a anti-Trump movement that's not so covert anymore. The whole
not covert at all.
The Tucker Carlson thing is right at Trump, and as is the obviously Candace Owens, and now dragged along with it Megyn Kelly. A part of this is instigated by click mania. I mean,
by the way, let me just say again that I'm sure somebody has coined that phrase before.
Yeah.
But click mania is accurately descriptive. Just as an aside,
I have no idea.
Related to click mania is this. This bugs the tar out of me. Journalism, online journalism, has gotten so bad in many respects. There's something called burying the lead.
Yes.
And because many news outlets now, maybe some on the margin, want time on page to be increased, the lead, which used to be the lead sentence in the first paragraph, is now almost always found in the fourth or fifth paragraph.
Yes.
Drives me nuts.
The New York Times always does that too. So it's not.
And by the way, just so you know, if you ever read the Tennessee Star or the Star News Network, we have the lead. The lead is always in the first paragraph.
Well, that's interesting. I'll give you that. I don't know if on my Substack I always do that.
Well, yeah, but the Substack is different. The Substack, in the Substack, Roger, what you're doing is you're expressing an opinion. You're making an argument, but a news story.
You shouldn't do that.
You should have a headline that's clear.
Yeah.
And you should have a lead sentence that is the lead point of the story.
Yes.
But in Substack's different, though.
Yes. In my Substack, I've been trying to figure out what makes people like Tucker and Candace is like totally crazy.
Yeah, Candace is totally crazy. Now, here's the thing about that. She has no constraints.
None.
This is the problem with Tucker. Tucker, was spectacular on Fox News. But he had editors there. And there were certain things that couldn't be said. He has no editor now. And
also, more important, other things occurred. His father died. He was close to his father. His father's opinions were radically different from his. His father was a member of the Foundation for the Defense of Democracies, very pro-Israel. And I think Tucker was afraid of his father. His father was smarter than he was.
Well, his father was, quite a legendary figure.
Right.
Just to describe, he was a journalist, and then didn't he get involved in?
He was part of the CIA, and I don't know. The CIA was better at one point. Now it's a massive bureaucracy.
Tucker's also got these weird things that he says about fighting demons.
Yeah.
I mean, he believes that he really had been fighting demons.
He's right. That they're
and the other part that's kind of weird about him, he's a big nicotine guy. Yeah. Really big on nicotine. He's got his own nicotine products now.
Yeah.
And he talks about all the wonders of nicotine.
Yeah. No, he's very strange. What's scary is that people listen to it. I mean, the most recent one, of course, he's now attacking Bonhoeffer, who was one of the great heroes of World War II.
No, he's not attacking Bonhoeffer, is he?
Yeah.
What?
Yes, did you see that yesterday? It came
No,
out.
tell me. Now, just tell everybody who Erich Bonhoeffer was. He's a
I
Christian.
believe he was a Lutheran.
Yeah, Lutheran minister.
Yeah, who wanted to assassinate Hitler and actually did some planning, and he wanted to assassinate Hitler because he believed Hitler was dangerous for humanity. Now, of course, he was correct. Now, of course, Tucker believes that Churchill was the one who was dangerous for humanity, not Hitler. So,
now does Tucker...
so the next extension is the Bonhoeffer, who's a revered figure among Christians, is now being attacked by Tucker.
Now, he had a guest on who said negative things about, very bad things about Churchill.
Oh, well, his guest was this guy, Darryl Cooper, who is an online historian who also believes that we should bomb Tel Aviv, quote unquote.
Okay, so that's like way out there.
Yeah,
right?
There's way out there, and for it's all based on craziness. One of the interesting things is that he thinks that the Israelis have ruined Bethlehem because he brought. I know about this because I was in Bethlehem when it was under Israeli control. And I was there also when it was under control of the Palestinian Authority, which it is now. And when it was under Israeli control, it was a wonderful place, and there were tons of Christian prelates there. Now there are nobody there. But he brought on a prelate who made, with the terrorists, with Fatah, with the Palestinian Authority, to preach on his show, without realizing, or maybe realizing, that this was a shill. I mean, the whole thing is...
Yeah, Tucker has been like in a battle criticizing Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
Back to your point, let me quote exactly what Tucker just said about, quote, once you start calling people Nazis, we really have no choice but to start shooting them. To be Dietrich Bonhoeffer and sort of reach the end of reason or even Christianity. Bonhoeffer decided Christianity's not even. He was a Lutheran pastor. Christianity is not enough. We have to kill the guy Hitler. I'm not judging Bonhoeffer, who was a great man in some ways, but that's inevitable once we decide that people are Nazis.
Yeah.
That's what he said about Bonhoeffer. Bonhoeffer was part of an anti-Nazi German resistance movement.
Yeah.
He was arrested in 1943 for helping 14 German Jews escape to Switzerland.
Yeah.
It's a matter of historical debate what role exactly Bonhoeffer played in the famous failed plot to assassinate Hitler in July of 1944. I mean, he was arrested in 1943, so that's a stretch, I think. There's a movie, Tom Cruise did a movie called Valkyrie about the failed attempt to assassinate Hitler.
Right.
And so, I mean, again, the connection to the Bonhoeffer and the assassination of Hitler attempt about a year
afterwards.
So it's kind of tenuous.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think what Tucker has is a huge platform, right?
Yeah.
And
but people are now, a lot of people are getting the fact that he's gone cuckoo. I mean, he gets a lot of pushback, and the more, I guess, is important. But the real question is there a way to move the discussion off these lunatics?
See, isn't that important? Because if you look at it, I don't think it's helpful at all to the MAGA movement or to the Trump presidency to have these bitter divisions between Tucker Carlson on one hand and Mark Levin and Ben Shapiro on the other hand.
Right.
It's not helpful at all in any way.
You know, interesting, this guy, Tim Pool, whose show I was on, the Timcast, is a young guy. I mean, he's not 30 yet, and he gets it. He has put on X a couple of times this morning that all these people like Megyn Kelly and Tucker are destroying things, destroying the MAGA movement. I was pleased to be on his show. The guy is very, I mean, it's nice that someone that young can see through this kind of.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. And he's got a good group of people around there with him.
Oh, yeah. He's got
little complex.
It's a hugely popular show, one of the most popular.
Roger Simon, stick around. We got another segment of important things to talk about. Back after this.
These illegal skill games, they keep popping up. Fights break out. They're illegal. We got drugs. We got gangs. They're all over the place. How do you get illegal slot machines in convenience stores when Governor Youngkin, you vetoed it? And no referendum, nobody passed it. How are they still here?
At the end of the day, it is local Commonwealth's attorneys that have to bring the cases against the establishments and to get them out. And so, yes, I vetoed bills. The High Court has said that they can't be there. And on top of that, our Attorney General has done a full investigation. And we go back to our Commonwealth's attorneys in so many jurisdictions refuse to enforce the law. That's the bottom line. They protect the criminals at the expense of the victims. And that's why, again, elections matter. We have got to elect prosecutors who will put people in jail.
This ad paid for by Churchill Downs.
President Trump is rebuilding our economy, but we need every American in the fight. People leaving federal prison have a 60% unemployment rate, but a job is the number one factor in preventing reoffense. The Safer Supervision Act is a pro-jobs bill. It helps people leaving prison on federal supervision rejoin our workforce to turn former prisoners into taxpayers. Strengthen our economy. Make America safer. Support the Safer Supervision Act. Visit safersupervision.com. This message paid for by the Reform Action Fund.
The Cats and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Cats and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
This is Crom Carmichael, CEO of Solti. We got a wonderful email from one of our customers up east named Joe, and here's what he had to say. I started taking Solti almost out of desperation with little hope because I was resigned to the futility that although I was up to taking 2 statins a day, high cholesterol was something I just had to learn to live with. In fact, when I turned 60, after taking a stress cardio test, my doctor called me on a Saturday, which of course is never a good sign, and told me that I was clogged more than 95% of the people my age. I had an angioplasty and a stent procedure done at that time. Today, my stubborn triglycerides are only 1/3 of what they had been before starting taking Solti. My prescription statin dosage has shrunk from 60 milligrams to only 10 milligrams a day. My primary care doctor that I have had for many years still can't believe the results, and neither can I. Thank you, Solti, for providing such a wonderful product. And folks, I want to invite you to take care of your heart also by going to GodzillaHeart.com. That's GodzillaHeart.com. Use the code Godzilla at checkout, and you'll get a 50% discount on your initial shipment. Thanks so much.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com, listen to Michael Patrick Leahy, and make America great again.
This is State Senator Mark Pouty. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. Roger, the question for you right now is, can a conservative get justice, or conservatives get justice, or expect justice in a blue state these days?
Oh, is that personal?
No.
So far, I haven't. They haven't come after me.
Well, you don't live in a blue state.
That's true, but I've lived in blue states a bit,
Yeah,
to say the least. I don't know the answer to that, but I think it's hard, or there's no question about that.
Mm-hmm.
It's always a whim with this stuff, and it's judge shopping, it's all that stuff.
Yeah,
and this raises another question: is why is the judiciary in this country so powerful, and why are they so corrupt?
Well, there's two levels of that, right? You're talking about the federal judiciary.
And the state.
And the state, yeah. The federal district, my answer on the federal judiciary, the problem is that Obama and Biden, when they appointed federal district court judges, right, the first level, they appointed a bunch of crazy leftists.
We know that.
Yeah. That's it. Now, at the state level, it varies by state, but you make a good point. I'll give you some examples. In many instances, you have a situation now where you've got a problem where the attorney general of a state just totally violates the law. Example: attorney general of Arizona.
Yes.
Basically, she's been persecuting the alternate electors.
Right.
The attorney general in Wisconsin, a Democrat, is persecuting a well-respected attorney and former circuit court judge who was basically simply signed an affidavit for the alternate electors in Wisconsin.
That's a bad situation, but the judges is in some ways worse. I mean, at
Good
least
point.
an attorney general can be voted out theoretically,
Except in Tennessee.
Except in Tennessee.
But your point is right.
Yeah.
The judges in the case in the Wisconsin situation, the trial court judge, for this travesty against this very well-respected former circuit court judge, Jim Trappis, the trial court judge is totally ignoring the law, and it's going to be in Dane County, which is Madison, which is basically the equivalent of Washington, D.C.
This
Won't get a fair trial.
I've been thinking about this a lot. I haven't come up with anything, but I think a lot of people are wondering, is the judicial system correct? Is it a good thing? I mean, first of all, most of them are lifers. Okay, so they're lifers.
In the federal case, yes.
Yeah, and in the state cases, they're, certain terms, usually fairly lengthy terms, and nobody knows who they are. I mean, the public just doesn't know who they are.
Yeah.
So the elections are a farce, basically. They're just done on party lines, or in cases of some judges are all, supposedly nonpartisan, which is
right.
Absolutely one of the great lies. So, what is the system workable?
Let me give you an example.
It's not
of basically vindictive prosecution against a conservative, and that the judge, the state judge in this case, was almost part of the prosecution. Tina Peters, the Mesa County, Colorado, Gold Star mom, who did something with one of the election machines to kind of see if it had been tampered with in 2020. They charged her with all sorts of felonies, didn't get a fair trial. She is withering away. She was convicted, as you would expect, in an unfair deal like that. But she's withering away she's like 71 years old. And they're trying to kill her, basically.
I totally identify with her because on a smaller level, I got screwed by the same thing.
Yeah.
Because I told the truth about electing machines in my book and online at Epoch Times. Epoch Times crashed what I wrote. because they were scared of a lawsuit from
various companies.
These various companies
that we don't need to name.
And
they listen.
then when I put it in my book, which had nothing to do theoretically with the Epic Times threw a fit and
take it out
and paid for Encounter Books to change my book.
Yeah,
to take out about 3 pages that at some point I will publish online because I was 100% accurate. I did not lie. I would not lie in a book. I'm stupid. And
here's the thing, Roger. My advice to everybody: if you want liberty, and you live in the United States of America, and you currently live in a blue state, call U-Haul today.
Well, there are a lot of your cartoons about that.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an interesting situation. The other, sometimes I think, some people. I famously left California and wrote a book about it called American Refugees, which
and we're glad you
forms
came
my
to Tennessee.
Substack now.
Yeah,
it's called American Refugees. The ad has a quote on the cover by Tucker Carlson. I wish I could get it off.
Yeah, it's there. You're stuck.
But it's the old Tucker Carlson.
Roger Simon, thanks so much for joining us. Hey, up next, Speaker of the House of Tennessee, Cameron Sexton is in the House. He's in studio.
Oh,
we'll have him for the next hour. Back after this.
John Fredericks Media on YouTube is all that and more. Wake up to watch the John Fredericks Show live and stay on top of the news you need to know. Rewatch your favorite guest interviews, follow John's national media appearances, and dig into the archives of America's Godzilla of Truth. All that and more. It's John Fredericks Media on YouTube. Hit YouTube, search John Fredericks Media, subscribe, bookmark it, log in today. John Fredericks Media on YouTube.
Why is Purple Wave Auction the fastest growing heavy equipment marketplace? Our full service online auction and selling farm, construction, and fleet equipment. Thousands of business owners partner with Purple Wave each month to manage their equipment. Sellers count on our experienced professionals to handle the marketing, paperwork, and payments. And bidders trust in a marketplace free of reserves and hidden fees. Purple Wave is the turnkey online auction service you've been looking for. Purple Wave Auction. Straight, simple, sold.
The Katz and Cosby Show.
It's the top news of the day.
John Catsimatidis and Rita Cosby tackle today's biggest issues with a New York state of mind.
We are going to talk about dirty money.
This is a total failure of the media, the journalists, and the Democratic Party.
Treat yourself to a bite of the apple.
It's a common sense recap of the big stories.
Katz and Cosby, weekdays 5 Eastern, 4 Central on the stations of the John Fredericks Media Network.
And those are the big headlines of the day.
John Fredericks loves his radio and TV audience, but did you know how to follow the Godzilla of Truth wherever you go? Download the John Fredericks Radio Show app to listen live nationwide. For the daily chit-chat, Trucking the Truth, download the Getter app and join the morning fun on Getter Live from 6 to 10 a.m. Follow John Fredericks on
WENO Nashville, KQPN West Memphis. Get your winning plays and parlays from Godzilla Wins, Saturdays at 7 a.m. or click GodzillaWins.com.
Breaking news at Town Hall. I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Russia has launched a major missile and drone attack on Kiev.
Around 430 drones and 18 missiles were used in the attack, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky adds. Local resident Maria Kalshenko tells the AP, I realized that I couldn't see anything. I turned around and saw there was no wall and there was no neighbor's apartment. The neighbor was screaming. There was no door. The Russian attacks come as EU officials warn this week that Ukraine must continue to crack down on corruption following a major graft scandal that's put top nuclear energy officials under scrutiny. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
There's been a small rise in mortgage rates.
Mortgage buyer Freddie Mac says the average rate on a 30-year mortgage rose this week to 6.24%. This is the second weekly increase after 4 straight declines. The average rate remains near its lowest level in more than a year. Mortgage rates have mostly eased since late July, ahead of a Federal Reserve rate cut in September and October. The central bank doesn't set mortgage rates, but its actions are one of the factors that influence their trajectory. I'm Alex Vega.
Fast-moving wildfires damaged at least 15 structures and forced evacuations in a picturesque California county that lies along the Nevada border. Baseball crowns a pair of familiar MVPs. Here's Gethin Coolbaugh.
Two-way star Shohei Ohtani won his 4th MVP award in a unanimous vote for the National League honor, and Aaron Judge earned the American League accolade for the 3rd time. Ohtani was named MVP for the 3rd straight year. It's his 2nd in the NL with the 2-time defending World Series champion Los Angeles Dodgers after winning 2 in the AL with the Angels. All 4 have been unanimous. Judge became the New York Yankees' 4th 3-time winner, edging Seattle's Cal Raleigh with 17 first-place votes to 13 for the switch-hitting catcher. I'm Gethin Coolbaugh.
More on these stories at townhall.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-583-0141. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-583-0141. That's 800-583-0141. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Here's Greg Clarkson with the Midday Wall Street Business Report.
The nation's largest retailer will soon have a new boss. Walmart CEO Doug McMillon will retire at the end of January. He helped turn Walmart into a tech-powered giant since taking over in 2014. John Furner, the head of U.S. operations, will succeed McMillon as CEO. The Trump administration has announced trade frameworks with Argentina, Ecuador, El Salvador, and Guatemala. They're aimed at boosting the ability of American companies to sell industrial and agricultural products in those countries. The 6-week government shutdown may be over, but the negative economic impact could last a while. The Congressional Budget Office estimated the shutdown will reduce growth in this year's 4th quarter by about 1.5 percentage points. That would cut growth by about half from the 3rd quarter. I'm Greg Clugston.
You'll find breaking news and analysis at townhall.com. Civil rights leader Jesse Jackson has been hospitalized with a rare neurological disorder.
He had been receiving around-the-clock care at home before being hospitalized. He was reported to be in a stable condition. Jackson has suffered from symptoms consistent with Parkinson's disease and disclosed a diagnosis in 2017. But during a Mayo Clinic visit in April, doctors confirmed a diagnosis of PSP, which can have similar symptoms to Parkinson's. He has continued to make public appearances, including at last year's Democratic National Convention. He's been using a wheelchair, and family members say he can no longer speak. I'm Karen Shamas.
The White House is signaling commitment to President Trump's proposed $2,000 tariff rebate for most Americans. If approved by the courts, those payouts could begin in early 2026 with funds drawn from the $100 billion in tariff revenues. More of these stories at Town.
It's the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, broadcasting live from downtown Nashville. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
And welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. We are delighted to welcome to our microphones here in studio the Speaker of the Tennessee House of Representatives, Cam Sexton. Welcome.
Hey, glad to be here. Thank you.
Last time you were here, I think it was in February.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but we're happy to have you here. The Tennessee General Assembly is not in session. And so obviously, when the Tennessee General Assembly is not in session, you just don't have anything to do, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, there's not much. Actually, yeah. Actually, my work schedule slows down because I'm in Nashville a lot more and in office a lot more when we're in session. So,
yeah, exactly. And so the next session coming up is in January, right?
That's right.
And this will be the second session of this.
The second half, yes.
Second half of this session. And then election season comes in.
That's right.
Right now, the Tennessee House of Representatives, I think, 74?
75, 24.
75 Republicans, 24 Democrats. The Tennessee State Senate, the other house of the state of the General Assembly, is 27 Republican?
27, the 6 or 26-7.
Yeah, something like that.
Both supermajorities.
Supermajorities. Isn't that interesting? Because I can recall, we moved here to Tennessee, 1991.
Oh, okay.
The supermajority was not with the Republicans back then.
No,
there wasn't a majority with the Republicans back then.
No, there wasn't.
The majority was in both legislatures, both houses, was with the Democrats.
It was. And, the funny and most interesting thing is, the Democrats are all crying foul on redistricting and saying you're gerrymandering. And you can go back and look over the years when the Republicans, every decade, they gained seats on the Democrats. And every redistricting, they come back and cut 6 Republican seats, and they have to come back and win some more. Then you look at the congressional districts they drew. Today's is nowhere near gerrymandering. Back then, they had one congressional district that ran from Upper East Tennessee to Savannah, Tennessee, to make sure they had a Democrat elected. So, it's kind of interesting watching them cry foul when you watch them do it in Tennessee for 40 or 50 years.
Yeah, exactly. Really, if you look at, and I'm a little bit biased here, but I think the Tennessee General Assembly and the previous session this last year and the previous year before that accomplished a great deal for the conservative agenda. Probably one of the best sessions of the Tennessee General Assembly in the history of the state, it seems to me.
No, I agree with you. DEI and a lot of different things that we took on this year. We won some court cases as well that we had passed the year before, some big court cases. And so I believe and I agree with some of the organizations out there that says Tennessee's General Assembly is the most conservative in America, because I believe it is, especially after this year and all the things that we accomplished.
Yeah.
And, you have your naysayers out there, but that's okay. But we are the most conservative, and we're continuing to put Tennessee on the map, and people are looking at us to lead, and they're going to follow.
It's interesting you use that term, lead. I've heard that a lot, that Tennessee with Governor Bill Leahy, Attorney General Jonathan Skrmetti, and the Tennessee General Assembly all kind of working hand in hand. Tennessee's kind of leading the country towards a more conservative view of governance.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I know when I go to different conferences and I meet with other speakers or other people, they always are bringing up bills that we passed and say, hey, can you tell me about this? This is what we want to do, whether it's in Oklahoma, Indiana, Florida, Texas, wherever it is. They're all asking, tell us about this bill that you did. Sometimes we do something that Florida has done, but most of the time it's us leading the way. And so it's been a great 15 years in Tennessee, a wonderful last 7 years in Tennessee. Since Governor Lee's been here. And so we're continuing to lead, and that's what we're going to do. I've been working with the White House and in the administration there in the West Wing, trying to come forth with some more policy decisions that they think Tennessee should lead on. And so we're working with them to make sure that we are.
Now, that's what you call a tease.
Yeah, it is in radio.
How much of that can you share with us?
Well, I mean, we're still working out the details, but look, I mean, I think one of the things that when I talk to the White House is they understand the power is in the states, obviously, which we all agree. And so they're trying to it's hard to get legislation passed through Congress, through both House and Senate.
Yeah, and let's make the difference here. In the House, it's currently 219 to 213. R versus D. And then if you get Thomas Massey and a couple other people, it becomes problematic. In the Senate, it's 53-47 asterisk. They have this little thing called the filibuster.
Yeah, the 60, right?
Yeah,
and
60.
So it's harder there. And so they've been really working with states, and I've been working with them hard since they have been in. I worked with the American First Policy Institute in between the terms. And so we're looking at bringing in things into the state, looking at in a red state with blue cities, how do we fix the judicial system? How do we get tougher on crime? How do we hold blue city DAs accountable, the judges accountable? Things like that of how do we make sure that we have safety first. And you look in Memphis on what's just happened in Memphis. Look, I know there's a lot of people who are skeptical at first, especially some of the Democrats. The only Democrats against her are a few elected officials in
just
Shelby
a few.
County. Just a few.
It's the Shelby County mayor, but the Memphis mayor, Paul Young, I got to tell you, that guy has actually started talking and listening to and communicating with, back and forth, with Republicans. Down there, you got Mark White down there on the House side. You also have on the state Senate side, Brent Taylor.
Right.
And they've had a lot of communication with Paul Young. I always say that, Paul Young is probably, there are only, this is me talking, not you. There are two Democrats in America who have a bit of common sense. John Fetterman, and now, of late, Paul Young.
Yeah, well, I mean, Paul Young, when you talk to him, he's like, look, they're coming. They're coming, and so that's what they're sending. So it's best to work with them and be part of the conversation than not to work with them and have no ability to have a conversation.
This is like shocking common sense from a Democrat.
That's right. And so you've seen the difference. And now what you have is you have kids who talk to the news media and they say, I can go out and ride my bike now. Now, in East Tennessee and Middle Tennessee, families take that for granted that you can go ride your bikes, but not in Memphis for a long time. And then you have people say, I feel safe to go to Bill Street. I was talking to an individual the other day that said, I hadn't been to Bill Street in 7 years. And me and my wife went down last weekend, and then we went back 2 days later because we felt safe. It was secure.
And it's historic. It's fun.
It is. And so
when it's safe.
And so the thing is, it's really making a difference. At some point in the future, President Trump will come out and declare that Memphis is the safest city in America, and because it will be. And so we're looking at how you work with Republicans and Democrats to achieve that. And then at the same time, what do we also need to do long term to not allow that to happen again?
That's interesting because what I like about this is it's a very Tennessee way to do things because we've had State Senate Majority Leader Jack Johnson here as well talk about it. Look, Senator Taylor says the same thing. Memphis matters to the state of Tennessee.
Right.
We want Memphis to succeed. And so far, this task force, the safe task force in Memphis, along with the National Guard, has done dramatic things. I mean, we document it every day at the Tennessee Star in terms of the number of warrants that have been served, the number of missing children that have been found, and the safety levels there.
Yeah. I mean, look, I want Memphis to be stronger and more vibrant and a bigger economy than Nashville. If that happens in our state, we will see economic success, personal success, more than we've ever have. We will have individuals who are working jobs that never had the hope of working in those jobs. If we fix the school systems, we fix the crime, give them the opportunities, don't do the policies like it's going to happen in New York where everything's free, and you depend on the government, and then they want to tax you to pay for it. We want to give the individuals the opportunity to succeed, but also give them the opportunity to fail so that they can learn to succeed, which is important. Just because we give you the opportunity doesn't mean that you're going to make great decisions. It could mean you make some bad decisions, but at least you have the opportunity and freedom to make that decision.
When we come back, I want to talk to you about what's it like to be the Speaker of the House. What's that job like? Because people know that's an important position, but what does the job really entail?
Right.
Back with Speaker of the House here in Tennessee, Cam Sexton. After this, I'm Michael Patrick Leahy.
Hi folks, John Fredericks here for Freedom Alliance. Veterans are still struggling with the wounds of war. They came home with injuries that changed them forever. The flag-burning troublemakers in our streets remind me how fortunate we are to have patriots who served and fought, sacrificed, and never complained. We need to support them through organizations like the Freedom Alliance. It's Military Appreciation Month and time to support those who serve. Freedom Alliance is caring for combat veterans and military families. Combat veterans fought in the worst, most dangerous places on earth. Freedom Alliance takes them to nature's most to relaxing locations so they can heal. Freedom Alliance gives injured troops mortgage-free homes, new cars, and all-terrain wheelchairs. For wounded vets, there's nothing like the stability of your own home, the reinsurance of a reliable vehicle, or the independence of a wheelchair that navigates snow, ice, beach, pasture, or most any terrain. Let's fight for those who fought for us. Go to freedomalliance.org/Godzilla and make a monthly gift that will improve the life of a military hero. That's freedomalliance.org/Godzilla. Make a contribution today.
If you're like me, most moms find it difficult to prioritize self-care. Hi, it's Colleen, Program Director at the John Fredericks Media Network. With the demands of programming 13 radio stations, it's easy to forget about the things I should do for myself daily. And that's why I started with our company's Women's Challenge with Native Path Collagen Peptides. It's affordable and convenient care in just 1 scoop a day. There are so many incredible health benefits like bone and joint support, metabolism booster, and hair, skin, and nail improvement. I like to take a moment each day to prioritize myself and indulge in the health-boosting benefits of Native Path Collagen Peptides. I love mixing it up with all the different smoothie recipes, too. Learn more about Native Path Collagen Peptides and read 7 important reasons why you should be taking collagen peptides at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Prioritize your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today and get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
Target.com. Target.com is an online e-commerce tire retailer. We are here to serve the American public with the best possible customer service, the best pricing, and we make it extremely easy. We have many name brands and a lot of low-cost tires. The price is right, and it's easy. You go online to Target.com, Tireget.com, Target.com. You go there, you put your zip code in, all the inventory displays right in front of you. You can call in for help if you want to. We'll help you get the tire that you need. But we will take the tires you buy and at no extra charge deliver them to the dealer right by your house where they will be installed at the market price. It's easy. The best price, the best service. Great people to deal with. Thank you for going to Target.
I didn't risk my life for this country just to watch career politicians wreck it.
Matt Van Epps, 9 combat tours. True American hero.
Now, I'm on a new mission to bring down prices, create good-paying jobs, and lower healthcare costs for working families. I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message to fight for America, because that's what I've done my whole life.
Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. In studio, the Speaker of the Tennessee House of Representatives, Cam Sexton. Okay, so what is it that the Speaker does? What's your job? Tell everybody who's listening.
Well, so there's a lot of aspects to it. And so a lot of it depends on how good your staff is around you. And so that takes a lot of pressure off internally. And so I have a very good staff. It's a small staff compared to other speakers around the country. But and we also have very good staff in the House in our legislative assistance program, our HR program, and everything else. And so that takes off a lot of pressure, internal pressure. But part of the job of the Speaker is I am the boss of 200 and some employees on the House side. And so you have your normal issues that every business would have as you're running. On the other thing is working with members, as everybody knows, setting committees, also assigning different things for members, whether offices, parking, et cetera. Working with the governor and the lieutenant governor on budget and policy and trying to help them get things through. Jack Johnson and William Lamberth are the leaders for the governors, which means they carry the legislation. But
so let's just step back and say, when you say the lieutenant governor, there's some very fascinating things about the Tennessee State Constitution. One thing that I was the biggest critic of for a long time was that we're the only state in the union where our attorney general is selected by the Supreme Court.
Right.
And I thought, well, that's crazy. That just violates the basic separation of powers between the judicial, the executive, and the legislative. And, like 44 states, they elect them directly. to 4-year terms. We got an 8-year term.
Mm-hmm.
5 states, it's the legislators that pick them. And so I'm criticizing this. And then the governor comes in and says, well, look, I'm going to give the Supreme Court 3 recommendations.
Mm-hmm.
Then they pick this guy, Jonathan Skrmetti, out.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best attorney general in the country.
Yeah.
So here I am eating my words saying, well, I guess it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, look, Tennessee's unique in that aspect, meaning there's really only one statewide state official that's on the ballot.
That's the governor.
And so that's the governor. Other states, you have lieutenant governor, you have the attorney general, you could have the ag commissioner. And so all of a sudden what you have is you don't have someone running for governor. They're all running for these other offices to get to governor, right?
Yeah.
And so we're in a very unique spot. And lieutenant governor is a little bit different in our state too. The lieutenant governor is actually also the Senate president. In other states, that's not the case.
I think we're the only state that does that, too.
And so we're very unique in how we do it, and I think it's very successful over the years how we do it.
When I first came to Tennessee back in 1991, I thought, and I learned about this. I'll tell you a story I really liked about Tennessee, just to show what a great place it is. Because we'd moved here from California, right? Because my daughter was born, my wife, who's from Texas, looked at me and said, I'm not raising this girl in godless California.
Yeah.
And we were at Church of Christ. So we came to Tennessee.
Tennessee is a good place for Church of Christ.
It's great. You know, we went to Woodmont Hills, Church of Christ, Rubel Shelley, great preacher there. But I, very, very interested in the governance. And I walked into the state capitol, and I walked into the Secretary of State's office. And I said, hey, do you got a minute? Yeah. So I talked to the Secretary of State of the state for like 15 minutes. I just arrived in the state, and I walked in, and this never happens in other states.
Right.
It was, it's really pretty cool.
It is. Well, and the constitutional officers, the 3 of them, Secretary of State, Comptroller, and Treasurer, are all appointed by the General Assembly, which is unique as well. And so, look, I think we have the best form of government. It puts people in place, and they're held accountable by the people that they should be held accountable for. And, I think we're doing a lot better than what we were doing in the previous 85 years before 15 years ago.
Well, the other thing, too, it's interesting about the way the Tennessee state Constitution is set up. The Tennessee General Assembly, the state legislature, is actually quite powerful because in this state, if the state Senate is working together with the state House, basically – because the governor can veto, but vetoes can be overridden with like 50%.
Simple majority. Yeah.
Which means if the governor works together with the state Senate and the state House, you've got a powerful combination.
You do, and I think that's exactly what Governor Leahy has done. In the past, you had the governor maybe being more aligned with one than the other, meaning with
one
the
house
Senate
or the
House. Governor Leahy has done a really good job of working with both, and so I think you see both places aligned with the governor. Constitutional officers aligned as well on how we're wanting to do, especially in financial and elections. And I think that's why we're working so well, and that's why people are looking at us to be the leader as we move forward in the future.
And I think the now famous case where the legislature passed the law prohibiting puberty blockers for minor children and prohibiting hormone therapy and genital mutilation. That law was passed with the great cooperation between the governor and the attorney general, who helped you frame the language of it.
That's right.
So that it would survive a legal challenge. It passed in the Tennessee General Assembly, went up to the Supreme Court, 6-3. And now this is the law of the land.
Right.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're the most conservative states, because we figured that out. Other people played a huge part in that bill too. People on the outside of the General Assembly helped draft it as well. But look, I mean, when everybody's working together and you have the same vision and the same goal, and you're not worried about who gets the credit, because in that description right there, you have 50 people that can get the credit. But everybody was wanting to do what was right, which is making sure that a minor could not mutilate their body. And so that's what we passed. That's what we did. And you've seen the success of it. Now, as we get back, I would think the interesting thing is I believe most of the Democrats voted against that bill.
Right.
And you have to ask yourself why, because the question is, this is what really comes down to the difference between Republicans and the new Democrat Socialist Party, basically, is the Democrat Socialist Party, they believe that a 13-year-old knows what sex they should be. and that God was not correct in how he made them. And so
now, let me just stop you for a minute. What you just said is an accurate description of what they think.
Right.
It is also insane.
Right. Well, it goes against the foundation of our country, which is it was based on God. It was based on faith. And so it goes against the founding principles of our country, which was it was founded based on God. And so if the Democrat socialist agenda can say that God was not perfect because that 13-year-old, God made a mistake making me a boy when I should be a girl, it's a pillar of our Constitution of our country that they're trying to break.
Mm-hmm.
And so real simply, it's you shouldn't be a member of the Democrat Party unless you believe God is not perfect. If you believe God is perfect, then you should be a Republican because we're trying to do everything we can to protect that in our country and in our state.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now, have you noticed in working with members of the House, have you noticed on now the Democrats, there aren't that many of them right now, but within the Democrat Party, there are some people that traditionally you might have worked with, maybe some of the older ones, but some of the younger ones don't seem to want to. They want to do something different. They want to be, seems to me, they want to be performative rather than significant accomplishment oriented.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's those kind of people on both sides. There's those kind of people out there in other organizations, right? And so there's people out there who what they want to do is be known for whatever. They want to get as many likes or clicks or friends on Twitter and Facebook, and want people to tell them all these great things. And so you have that on both, and so you just have to work around them and figure out pretty quickly that they're not there for moving Tennessee forward. They're there for themselves and trying to figure out how to make themselves look better, and not trying to make the state move in a direction where we'll be successful long term. So we do our best to work with them when we can, which most of the time you can't.
How much fun is it to be the Speaker of the House, of the Tennessee House of
Well, I mean, there's good days and there's bad days, you know? I mean, look, it's but
you mean it's not all fun?
Well, not always. But look, what I really like about the job is I get to be in a lot of conversations and meet a lot of Tennesseans that other people don't get to meet. I was in Chattanooga yesterday, Memphis last night. We were in Memphis earlier this week. And so I get to travel the state and meet with a lot of people and understand the issues from their perspective. And so from that benefit, it's wonderful being Speaker. But also working with the governor, lieutenant governor, and groups and others, working with the White House and the president's policy office to implement policy in Tennessee that will help us.
Isn't that unusual to have the White House work so closely with a Speaker of the House of a state legislature?
It's unusual for any president to work with the states because they have an intergovernmental office, but it's usually not around policy. What President Trump has figured out is they need to get their agenda. They need to get it passed in the states because the states is where you can solidify it. And then from there, the federal government, there's no need in the federal government to pass it for all 50 if you can get it in the red states at first and start building your wall.
Can you tell us who you work with most closely in the White House?
Stephen Miller.
Stephen Miller. Now, there's a guy with a point of view.
Oh, he's a fascinating guy. I love talking to him, meeting with him. Lots of ideas. We agree almost on everything. I don't think we've had anything that we disagree with on and trying to accomplish.
Like, do you talk on the phone? Do you go up to the White House?
Both. We've done both. Yeah.
Does he come down here to Nashville?
I haven't seen him here.
Well, we need to get him down here.
But he may be coming. He travels with the president quite a bit, and so, you know, we're working, and so we're hopeful this year we'll be able to do some great things working with him and getting them implemented here in Tennessee.
When we come back, we'll talk about the great things you're going to do in the next session, next half of this session of the Tennessee General Assembly.
Sounds great. Thanks.
Back after this.
EJ Haast here, founder of the Digital Footprint Management Agency and frequent guest on the Michael Patrick Leahy Show, here to tell you about GetFoundEverywhere.com. Customers are searching for your business everywhere: Google, Apple Maps, TikTok, and new AI platforms like ChatGPT and Gemini, which is a total disruptor. Traditional search engine optimization isn't dead, but it is on life support. Old tactics don't work anymore. So how can you make your business stand out? GetFoundEverywhere.com makes your business pop on over 50 search, map, review, and AI-driven platforms. With one easy dashboard, manage business profiles, social media accounts, direct messages, even texts and reviews. GetFoundEverywhere.com is affordable, boosts your visibility, and gets your business more customers. It's time to step up your game the easy way. Save time, save money, and get more customers with GetFoundEverywhere.com.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
I'm Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of Glockstore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported the Second Amendment rights of free men and women to protect themselves and their families with firearms. We offer the very best in both selection and prices on Glock handguns, custom Glocks, Glock magazines, and high-performance shooting accessories at Glockstore.com. We also have the finest retail showroom and our Shoot 270 shoot rooms right here in Nashville, Tennessee. Come visit us at Glockstore.com, and you'll be glad you did.
My fellow Americans, my good friends, I've known them for a long time, at D.T. McCall & Sons have the deal of a lifetime for you, and nobody knows deals like I do. That much I can tell you. Nobody knows deals like I do. The lumber yards, they can hit you with hidden charges for up to $200 extra. They'll charge you for cords and hoses and haul-offs. Your money goes all over the place and out of the state, and most importantly, out of your pockets. How do they get away with that? I don't know how they do that, but on day one, if you buy from McCall's, we are going to stop the hidden charges as soon as you buy it. D.T. McCall & Sons has locations in Lebanon, Carthage, Lafayette, Cookeville, and Franklin, and they have been family-owned in Middle Tennessee for over 100 years. Head to one of their stores today or check them out at dtmccalls.com. You're going to love it, believe me.
Impersonator not endorsed by Donald Trump.
I'm Matt Van Epps, and I approve this message.
Meet woke liberal Afton Bain.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Afton Bain, so woke she thinks it's a win to harass police.
This is great. We've got our girl squad, and we're bullying the ICE vehicles and state troopers. So this is a win.
Woke liberal Afton Bain. When she wins, we lose.
Paid for by Matt Van Epps for Congress.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Welcome back. In studio, Speaker of the Tennessee House of Representatives, Cam Sexton. Speaker Sexton, what's on the agenda for the next half of this session of the Tennessee General Assembly, which will convene in January, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right. Look, I think there's a lot of things here, and I'll throw out a couple of things. Is one, we had a large number of individuals who applied for the school choice, the Freedom Scholarships, over 40,000. We only had 20,000 scholarships. So definitely there's a need there and a demand for it. So hopefully we can get that increase to another 20,000 to get to 40,000, which would be very beneficial to meet that need.
And just to put this in context, there are about 1 million K-12 public school students in the state now.
Yeah, a little less. It fluctuates, but
up and down.
I mean, I think there's 100,000 in private school. There's 25,000 in homeschool, and so that kind of makes up the population. The K through 12 has fluctuated, but it's similar to what it was 15 years ago. Not much has changed as far as population. Obviously, proficiencies and stuff has become more of a focus. Yeah. And so the other thing we talked about too is a couple weeks ago I threw out the idea after talking to numerous people about creating an accelerated, specialized K through 5 or preschool through 5 teaching degree through a community college, a 2-year degree. We currently don't offer anything like that. Everything has to go through a 4-year higher education. And so as
Wow.
you're looking, what I look at is we're 2,000 teachers short, and we need more teachers, but we also need them to be specialized and accelerated for those grades for reading, writing, and math, and really teach them what to do in a classroom. Because I think a lot of times a 4-year degree is great, but sometimes they're not prepared when they come out of that 4-year degree to teach. And so a 2-year community college that's a blank slate that we can create, I think would be very beneficial for our state. And I've talked to, as I mentioned in the last 2 weeks, when I was in Chattanooga and I was in Memphis, people come up and talk all the time about it. And they say that that there's a lot of people who are getting a teacher's degree in college but not going to teach. You have people that they interview and they're not prepared to go teach in the classroom. And so they were asking me how this would work. And it's as simple as that. You would still have an ACT requirement. You would still have to pass the degree. You would have an internship, and you have to pass the praxis still. But if it works in healthcare, and the reason I know it works in healthcare is an LPN is a 12-month certificate.
Right.
It's not a college degree. And so an RN is a college degree. Nurse practitioner is a more advanced degree. And so they have the tiers, and each tier does a little bit more as you move up. And so that's why I've kind of set it in the pre-K to 5 realm. But it's a very good, I think, possibility to use our community colleges, which would keep people home. And with Tennessee Promise, they would come out owing no debt, whereas if a 4-year college, you come out owing debt, which is not great for teachers. But I think we could really focus in on how to classroom manage, how to teach in the classroom, the basics, maybe due to what you've talked about, direct to student
direct
instruction.
Yeah, just aside,
Yeah.
I'll just suggest the following, and we've been reporting for a long time on the success of a very particular teaching methodology called direct instruction, which has been around for about 60 years, where it's a combination of a very heavily engaged teacher activity with every kid involved on the task, a lot of repetition, but then a lot of movement forward. And it's been very successful with Thales Academy.
Right.
That's deployed it. Anybody that's deployed it, just a suggestion to consider incorporating in these community colleges direct instruction teaching methodology for these K-5 teachers. Because if you use direct instruction, as they've done at Thales University here, Thales schools, kids in kindergarten can read.
Yeah.
So this is just a suggestion for your consideration.
No, look, so it's a blank canvas, so we can create it how we want, working with everybody to figure out how to do this. And I'll look at it from a standpoint of when you go to college. This is the second point. So you have a new specialized accelerated path for teachers to get to the classroom in certain grades. And then you look at college. When you're in college, you don't move on to your sophomore, junior year until you accumulated more credits. So just because this is my second year in college doesn't mean that it's my sophomore year. I could still be a freshman based on how many classes I took and whatever. But also in college and also in high school, you're in classes with people who are older and younger than you. You're not with everybody who's the second year. It depends on a lot of different factors. So my question is, in K through 8, we're really just focused on, since this is your, 6th year, you're in 5th grade, meaning kindergarten and 1 and 2. So you've been here this many years, you're automatically in 5th. You're automatically in 6th, you're automatically in 7th. And then we assume that the teacher should be able to teach to 8, 9, 10 different skill sets in that classroom or abilities, which makes it very tough.
By the way, I'll make the direct instruction commercial here again. Right. So that's how they do it.
Right.
In other words, they move within the same year. If a kid is moving up faster, they move them to another group. And then they teach that group.
Correct.
And so it's exactly the methodology that you're describing.
Which is exactly right. So, and so all of a sudden, if you're in 5th grade and it's the core classes, say reading and math are the core classes, writing can be a core class, but whatever you define as your core classes, you're no longer in the same class just because you're in 5th grade. You're in it based on your ability. So for your example, you could be in a 6th grade reading class, but you could also be in a 4th grade math class.
Exactly.
And so all of a sudden, you're in with the people that have the same ability, so the teacher can teach to those people of those ability, and you will see much more success. And as you said, the school here has it. There's a school system in Ohio that does it.
Which one's that?
Stuberville. It's 45 minutes
Is that
west
public school?
Yeah, yes. It's 45 minutes west of Pittsburgh. I don't know if they call it direct to instruction, but what they do
sounds similar.
Similar, but what they do is for this. If you had reading class from 9 to 10, then every day from 9 to 10, every student takes that reading class. And so you go to the classroom where it's based on your ability. And if math is 10 to 11, you go to the math room that's based on your ability. And then you can go back to your grade for science, PE, whatever you want to. But it's a different way, to your point, and I think it will be hugely successful. The thing that we have in common a lot is unions don't like us, because you're trying to challenge the status quo. You're creating disruption in the system, but you're trying to create disruption because what currently they think is working obviously is not working.
No,
and so you have to be
basic
disruptive.
reading, writing, arithmetic is not improving.
Right, and some schools do a very good job of moving kids up, but they won't move kids down to put them in the classroom and where they should be.
It's not a punishment. It's just basically to develop their skill sets in the proper way.
But also for them to master, or at least have a ability to achieve success in that before they move to the next one.
So how did you come up with all this?
A lot of research, a lot of talking. And
Who do you talk to mostly about it?
Well, I read a lot. And so
yeah.
I also talk to the different education groups. I've talked to I'm a big believer in the classical education model, so there's a lot of individuals there.
Yeah.
But then the Stuberville, Ohio thing came through. I guess as my phone's listening to me, it popped up something about Stuberville. You know how
really?
They say your phone doesn't listen to you, but
it does.
And so I started reading about it, and all of a sudden, then that got me to asking more questions to other people. And so then I'll ask people, what about this idea? What about this idea? And try to.
So do you share these thoughts with, for instance, our friend Mark White, who's in the education committee?
I do. I talked to Mark White about it. I talked to William Slater about it. I talked to Kirk Haston about it, Scott Sapicki about it. Also talked to directors of schools about it. I've talked to higher education presidents about it and board of trustees about it, just to try to talk to SCORE, talk to all of them, just to say we need to think differently about how we do education.
And what kind of reception do you get for this?
Well, it depends on what it is. You know, I mean, look, I think the 2-year community college accelerated specialized degree, at first people recoil because it's such a disruption that they want to say you're lowering the quality of education, which is what you're not. You're creating an accelerated path that's very specialized on how to be successful in these grades. And that's the only grades they can do. If they go get their bachelor's degree, so be it. And so initially they're like, oh, no, you can't do that. You got to have a 4-year degree. And you're like, well, why? We're 2,000 short. Our success, there's great bachelor degree teachers. But there's a lot of people, especially this younger generation, who want to be in these professions, but they don't want to go to a 4-year college.
Right.
And you don't have to. A 4-year college doesn't define that you're successful. You can be successful in a community college, a TCAT, or even a high school graduate. Very smart people don't always go to college.
Right.
But if we can figure out how those people who have the passion to do it can get into it a little quicker, I think we will have the right people in education.
Question. Have you had an opportunity to talk to any teachers' unions about this?
I don't have to, because they make their voices known on Twitter pretty quickly. And as always, we hate it.
We hate it. We hate it.
We hate it.
You know, what really is odd to me is you look at the teachers' unions, and you would think they're not delivering a great result. I mean, the bottom line is, reading, writing, arithmetic measures of performance have not been that hot.
Right.
Over the past couple decades. And you would think that they would want to embrace the ability to perhaps improve it.
Well, the unions are there to protect, right?
Yeah.
That's their jobs, to protect whatever they're trying to protect. And we have a lot. Look, we have a lot of great teachers who have bachelors. There really are. But there are a lot of people who'd be great teachers who could get there through a community college degree, right? And so we're trying to allow for that to happen. Hopefully they'll come around. I'm not sure that they ever will. But.
What I love about this is if you get to the whole thing, the core of the matter, and the fact that you're focusing on K-5 teaching, if you can read and write and do arithmetic, okay, you get those basics, you can pretty much do anything.
Right.
If you look at American history, look at all the great inventors. Thomas Alva Edison only made it through 8th grade, right? But he learned the skill set.
Right.
And so that's really, I think, very insightful.
Well, you talk to businesses, and they will tell you that the workers don't have soft skills, and they have to do a lot of training on soft skills. And so there's just different issues out there. And look, I think some of our decisions have put teachers in a bad spot. When you're trying to teach reading to a third grader and there's 8 different levels of reading in that, it's extremely difficult for that teacher to be successful.
The teacher can't do that.
That's right.
It's impossible.
So you have to be disruptive and think about how to change stuff to give the teachers the best opportunity to be successful. And some teachers can overcome those issues. Some make it's harder to overcome those issues. But this isn't an anti-teacher thing. This is more of an enhancement, just like an LPN enhances healthcare. These type of teachers can enhance what we have, and then they would have the mentors. The only aspect I will say is they can go get their bachelor's degree after. So once they get in the classroom, almost every teacher gets a master's or whatever. Only thing I say is they shouldn't be limited to just get a bachelor's degree in education. If they want to get it in history, if they want to get it in math, if they want to get it in philosophy, they should have the opportunity to go get that bachelor's degree in any subject, business, not just in education.
I mean, if this were to happen, Tennessee would absolutely be leading the way in education.
Yes, I believe we would.
We'll be back with Speaker of the House, Cam Sexton, after this.
Tom Carmichael, CEO of Soul Tea, a supplement to help you have a healthier heart and stronger cardiovascular system. At Soul Tea, we regularly get emails from our customers telling us how Soul Tea has helped them. Like this one from Kelly. Hello, I'm 58 years old and have had high cholesterol for years. I wanted to stay away from prescription drugs. My husband and I have been using Soul Tea for about 13 months. My results have been amazing. My cholesterol levels went from 291 to 129. I am so impressed with Soul Tea and want to thank you. Now, in my own case, my bad cholesterol dropped from 130 to 89, and that was 20 years ago. I'm 75 years old and I take 0 prescription drugs. To get a great deal on Soul Tea, please go to GodzillaHeart.com, and when you check out, use the code Godzilla to get our best deal, which is 50% off your first shipment and then 3 bottles for the price of 2 thereafter. You don't have to live with a broken heart.
Do you suffer from
Try
declining
Soul Tea
bone and
today.
joint health? Hi, it's Tina with the John Fredericks Media Network. And when I heard about our company's Women's Challenge, I jumped on the opportunity to test this amazing supplement that's already restoring my bone density, soothing my joint pain, and helping me regain lost mobility. I've experienced so many benefits in such a short time with Native Path Collagen Peptides because they support my bones and joints, boost my metabolism, and unleash the most radiant skin and hair since my 20s. In just 2 weeks, my knee stiffness is gone, and I'm already hitting the gym more aggressively. And I get so many compliments on my glowy skin and shiny hair. Native Path Collagen Peptides are so easy to take. They're tasteless, odorless, and mix great with my morning coffee. Read thousands of 5-star reviews at getnativepath.com/Godzilla. Level up your self-care with Native Path Collagen Peptides. Try it risk-free for as low as $21 today. And get free shipping at getnativepath.com/Godzilla.
In 2008, the amount of concentrated time people could spend on a task without becoming distracted was 12 seconds. 5 years later, it was only 8 seconds, 1 second less than a goldfish. If you're often distracted or have trouble recalling information, you're likely to fall behind in the demanding, fast-paced 21st century. In other words, brain performance is more critical now than ever. Boost your brain power with Healthy Cells Focus Plus Recall. Science-backed nootropics to help you sharpen focus, concentrate longer, enhance recall, improve mental speed, learn rapidly, and be more alert. It's a pill-free brain supplement made with maximum absorption ingestible gel technology, designed to feed your brain at the cellular level. Take it for a test drive. Go to healthycell.com and use code GODZILLA for 20% off your first order of Focus Plus Recall. That's healthycell.com, code GODZILLA for 20% off.
Welcome back to the Michael Patrick Leahy Show. Now, here's Michael Patrick Leahy.
Speaker of the House here in Tennessee, Cam Sexton here. We've been talking for an hour. We could spend 2 hours talking about this stuff. It's so fascinating. We only have 8 minutes left, but let's talk about the rest of the agenda for the Tennessee General Assembly when it comes back. What's going on in the area of immigration? You know, you had a great success in the Scametti versus United States case, which you won, ending basically puberty blockers for minor kids and genital mutilation for minor kids. That was a great success. But, you know, one thing that I think in the area of immigration that has bothered me since the 80s is the Supreme Court decision, Plyler v. Doe, which forces school districts to allow illegal alien children to attend for free. I think that's wrong. Is there something that's going to be addressed this session on that topic?
I mean, we've had a bill, and it's stalled, unfortunately, trying to create a challenge in that regard to get it in the courts to see if the courts would still violate. It was a very small decision. I mean, it was like 5-4 or something, I think, when it was
very
initially
close.
done. Yeah, very close. And so you look, what I can tell you is we have an assumption on how many illegals in our schools, but we don't really know because no one asked the question.
Right.
There's no question. So one is you got to figure out how big of an issue it is. I'm sure there's some, but we all are hypotheticating about what it is. What I will say is also when you talk to teachers and others in the classroom, English second language becomes problematic because they come into the normal classrooms with other students and they can't understand the teacher can't understand them, and it creates a dysfunctional classroom where everyone loses in that regard. And so
how prevalent is that?
It happens. There's in Crossville, I've talked to teachers where I live in Crossville that they might have a class of 4 or 5 and it's disruptive because they can't read the Chromebooks or whatever they have and take the test, and it's just it's very difficult for the teacher because there's so much time being spent over here. So even if they're legal, right, here legally, we still have to figure out English second language and maybe not be in the classrooms if they don't understand English and they're having to do something else. There has to be a difference to help us. But, you know, that's one of the things, too, we're working with Stephen Miller in the White House on is trying to figure out, you know, how to handle the immigration at the state levels to put us in a spot that will be successful because, you know, we're going to be sued every time we do
and
something.
you need to have the legislation. Right. I'm sure you're talking with Attorney General Scametti about how to drop the legislation and others. Anticipate, you know, 10 seconds after the bill is signed into law by the governor, 1,000 different left-wing groups are going to sue.
Yeah, that's right.
Right?
Absolutely. And then, you know, other states pass it and you go to other court systems and you battle back around for a while and then you adapt and change and come back again if something needs to happen.
So that'll be a big area that you focus on. Where else are you going to focus on?
Well, crime. Obviously, we're focusing on crime. We're working on a 3-strike bill right now. That includes misdemeanors because most violent crimes or criminals, most violent criminals don't start as violent criminals. They start as misdemeanors and work their way up a lot of times. And then we also, that 3-strike that would include misdemeanors would allow us to look at how crime escalates and watch how that looks like. And at the same time, it gives us capability of having transparency if the DA's plea bargaining down because we can see that as well based on the strike history. And we're hopeful that we're going to get that done. We're working with the Manhattan Institute and others on that piece of legislation. And then what I really think we need here at the state is a strike force under TBI to go after violent crime and gang members, much like what happened with federal resources. But this would be state resources. We house them at TBI. And if we have crime run amok in Nashville or Memphis, we can send them in. If we need to go bust up the gangs, which we know we do in Memphis, there's over 100 gangs.
Yeah.
Then we can eradicate them and move them out. We can't tolerate gangs and violent juveniles and violent adults continue to wreak havoc. And when they make up, you know, about 3% of the population or less, probably.
Yeah. Also, we've just seen a couple stories. We have at the Tennessee Star a couple stories about South American gangs.
Right.
Robbery gangs.
Oh, yeah, Belle Meade and areas,
in Brentwood and Williamson County. Obviously, a state task force to that effect would be very
I mean,
helpful.
sometimes the locals don't want to have the strike force. You see them ban them. I think at the state level, we could have the strike force. I think we need to have over 100 individuals in it where we can do multiple things at the same time and send a message to the drug traffickers, send a message to the cartels, send a message to the gangs. you're not tolerated here, and we've got the means and the resources to take care of it if you come into our state.
Makes a lot of sense. Do you expect this will be a long session, or will continue? Sometimes these go on into early June, sometimes end in late April.
Yeah, I don't see it. It's an election year, so I would expect us to be out sometime after tax day, April 15th to May 1st.
That makes sense, because the legislators are eager,
right?
Because they can't campaign,
right?
They're prohibited from fundraising,
right? Until we're adjourned.
Until you're adjourned.
Yeah, unless there's a certain date in May where once we get to that date, then you can if you're still in session. But there's a part where there's a right pace to session. There's a pace that you go too slow and it takes too long, and everybody's
just worn out and tired.
And then there's one that's too fast and everybody's wore out, and you make too many mistakes. So you try to find the right pace to accomplish. The one thing is, this year the number of bills a House member can file is reduced to 10. So that should help us move a little bit more efficiently.
Should help a bit, right? Yeah. And so with just 10 bills, of course, there are 99 members.
Yeah,
so that's a lot.
It's a lot of bills, but at the end of the day, we when I first came in, there was a member of the Democrat Party. We had no bill limits, and they filed over 175 bills. 175.
I'm guessing zero got passed.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
But you have to deal with them.
But you have to deal with
right.
them. Legal has to draft them. It's a lot of time.
Yeah,
and you're not efficient. And a lot of the bills were redundant. And they would put them on notice, and it would clog you down on your calendars because they just keep rolling them. So we've instituted things to make us more efficient, to move a little bit quickly, but also maintain the correct pace so we don't create more mistakes.
Well, we are delighted to have you come in here in studio, and at sometime maybe before the session, probably not during the session. You'll be a little busy.
Be a little.
Come back again.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Speaker of the Tennessee House of Representatives, Cam Sexton. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
And hey, it's the weekend. We'll be back on 9 o'clock Central Time. Go to our website, TennesseeStar.com, TennesseeStar.com. I'm Michael Patrick Leahy. Thanks for joining us today.
This is State Senator Mark Pody. Government is limited to what it is supposed to do. One of the things that is critical that we're supposed to be working on is transportation. Here in Middle Tennessee, our roads need more help. As your state senator, we are focused on getting more money reoccurring without a new tax increase for our roads here in Tennessee. This is State Senator Mark Pody.
Paid for by Campaign for Mark Pody, Christina Hibden, Treasurer.
Hey there, it's Lenny McGill, founder and CEO of GlockStore.com. For over 30 years, I've supported our Second Amendment rights with GlockStore.com, the world's #1 source for Glock handguns, parts, and accessories. I also support accurate, unbiased journalism like The Michael Patrick Leahy Show. His team broke the Kilmar Abrego Garcia traffic stop and was the first to obtain that video. Independent journalism at its finest. Visit us at GlockStore.com. Listen to Michael Patrick Leahy and make America great again.
FlatFeeNashville.com is a full-service real estate brokerage that charges homeowners a upfront flat fee of $999 to completely list, market, and sell your home. We are all about saving consumers money, saving that equity. Nobody should hire an agent and feel like when that agent walks in the door, that agent is more concerned about the down payment on their next Mercedes purchase versus saving the equity that those homeowners have worked hard for. I've spent my entire career in ensuring that the equity that people save and they put into their monthly mortgage every single month, as much of that as we possibly can goes back to them when they go to list and sell that home. The idea is to give homeowners the ability to really create generational wealth.
FlatFeeNashville.com, FlatFeeNashville.com.